This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Sir, we are ready to rock and roll. Plenty of rolling because it is 420, baby. Yes, coming to you live from VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Today is 420. Today is a good day to be off, to be relaxing, to be trapped up in your home. But see, this is what we want you to do. We want you to get out. You know, like Amityville Horror, get out. Get out. Get out. You know, that kind of stuff. We want you to get out. Come to 12397 Pembroke Road. Yes, we've got all your CBD needs. Tinctures, edibles, flour. We got it all for you. We've got the water bongs. And, see back here? You see these little bags? These are called gift bags. So today at VSS West Pines, if you spend more than $4.20, $4.20, you will get a free gift bag. How about that? So there you go. So we got it all going on today. We'll be out here, so come on by and say hi. We can't necessarily, hang together and, put our arms around each other and take a pic. But it would be funny if we do take pics, but with social distancing in the way. Instead of, that'd be kind of funny and it's a way to remember in today's times. Hey, I met you, but we had to take a pic with social distancing. So that'll be kind of cool. So if you want to do that, we'll do that. If you come on by, you purchase something and you get a free gift bag, I'll go out there and we'll meet and all that good stuff. So please come on out, enjoy yourselves. You're looking for your e-juice, the e-cigarettes, disposable ones. They've got the single packs. They've got the 3-packs. They've got everything, man. The shisha, right? I think it's called for the hookahs. They've got them in all kinds of flavors. They've got all kinds of, all kinds of items. Like I told you, this is Barefoot Mailman Spencer's meets CBD. Okay? It's kind of what this place is. So you just don't know what you'll find. That's the amazing part out here at VSS West Pines. We are absolutely loaded today. In fact, we got a week, of guests that are going to blow you away. We got a great list of guests, former NFL players, scouts, pro scouts that are going to be joining us, insiders, all kinds of stuff. Today, Pete Prisco is going to stop by in a couple minutes here at the bottom of the hour. He's going to join us from CBS Sports, the senior NFL columnist. So we'll get his thoughts on what he thinks Miami is going to end up doing. Mike Reese, my buddy from ESPN, and he covers the Patriots on a daily basis. Let's find out what direction he thinks the Patriots are going to go. Hell, there's Tua talk there. Like he's going to drop to a point that they're going to trade up somewhere in the middle rounds and try to, whatever, I don't know. And then my buddy Alan Poupar is going to stop by, Sports Illustrated and the Dolphins. He started a new gig. He's been working for the organization for a long time for Dolphins.com and Dolphins Digest. So he kind of had to, stay in the company way. Well, now he's with Sports Illustrated. So now he gets to branch out. Now he gets to kind of express himself a little bit more. So we're looking forward to that. And I've known Alan for many, many years. And one of the things that goes absolutely under the freaking radar is that Alan does a great job of following the draft. So looking forward to talking a little draft with him at 2. Normally we hang out a lot at the Combine, Alan and I. This year, obviously, everything that went on did not go to the Combine, so did not get to hang out too much with Alan. But I normally do because he's a really good guy and he knows his draft stuff. But again, one of the better dudes in this business. So I'm glad that he's got this gig with SI now, and we could kind of get him to open up a little bit more and be able to express himself and give you guys the insight actually that you're looking for as a fan, because I kind of know that myself from doing it for so many years. I know how you guys on average want the brutal honesty. You know what I mean? So we've got a lot of things going on today, and we've got a slew of guests joining us. Just to give you a little flavor, tomorrow, Max Starks, the former offensive tackle for the Gators and for the Steelers, is going to join us. He has a little insight on offensive linemen. So, Miami's going to be needing some offensive linemen, so we'll talk to Max Starks about that. Sean Salisbury is going to join us tomorrow at noon. Alex Marvez, the marvelous one, will join us at 1 o'clock. And Greg Gabriel, former NFL scout with the Bears for 9 years. He, by the way, he was the director of player personnel for the XFL DC Defenders. Okay, so he's got a little experience about, personnel and talent. So he's going to join us on Tuesday. Wednesday, Tony Pauline from Pro Football Network is going to stop by. Chris Perkins from The Athletic will join us at noon. Bo Marchionte, Pro Scout, is going to join us. And Brady Papinga is going to stop by, former NFL linebacker with the Packers, friend of the program. At noon on Thursday, Mark Lillibridge, the linebacker, is going to join us, a former linebacker, scout, agent, contract negotiator. Mark has done everything in this business, coach and everything. Rick Neuheisel, okay, college coach, is going to join us. We'll talk a lot of quarterbacks with him. Doug Farrar does an excellent job for USA Today, draft and NFL insider. And then John Murphy, who is the director of player personnel for the Toronto Argonauts. So again, and if you followed my show for years, Murphy has been on with me many, many times. I've known Murphy before he became a scout, before he became a personnel director, as he's moved up the ladder. Murphy and I used to share hotel rooms back in the day, like 25 years ago, or not that long, about 22 years ago, 20 years ago, when we were broke and going to the Combine and trying to just survive and stuff. So, yeah, I've known Murph for a long time. So I think we got an all-star lineup this week, and I'm still looking to add another couple of names over the week. On Friday, I'm going to kind of leave it open to talk a little bit about what happened. And just to give you a heads up, because you guys have been asking me, we will be on Thursday. Okay, there's no doubt we'll be on Thursday doing our thing. But I want to assure you that we will be also on Saturday and Sunday, recapping the days before, going over Saturday. We'll go over some of the picks, obviously, and Sunday we'll recap the Saturday day and everything else, and then Monday we're back rocking and rolling. So you've got all of that going on. Don't forget always to give us the thumbs up, give us the likes there, subscribe, share the link to folks, send it to them on text, send it to them, post it on Twitter, on Facebook, all that stuff, because you're going to get the hardcore draft talk that you don't get anywhere else. So make sure you do all of that and share it, because it's going to be a nice, fun week this week. All right, we're ready to go. Pete Prisco, love it, senior NFL columnist for CBS Sports. You can follow him on Twitter at PriscoCBS. Pete, good morning, my brother. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Big O?
Oh, I can't complain, man. This is my favorite week of the year, a little draft. So what's real, what's Memorex with the Dolphins, my brother? 1 week is Tua. The next week they love Herbert. The other week they're going to pass up on both of them. They're going to take a position player. Where are you with the Dolphins? What are you hearing?
Well, I'm hearing what everybody else is hearing, that they're torn of what they're going to do, and I think the decision is between Herbert, Tua, and whether they take a left tackle and take a quarterback later. And in the end, I think they're going to stay there and take Herbert. And a lot of people will criticize that pick, but when you look at the body of work, he's been inconsistent at times, but there is so much to work with there. And I think with Tua, there's just so much of a risk. And I think when you look at it, I think medically it's a major risk. There are also a lot of people around the league that don't know how good he is. He played with a lot of really talented receivers, probably 5 first-round picks. The line was good, and he threw to a lot of open guys. So it's hard to evaluate him, but I think the medical makes it an easier evaluation, which is why I think it'll be Herbert.
What's your gut tell you, Pete, at 5, if you were in that spot and you had to make the pick, what play are you making? What pick is it?
I'm not taking Tua, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't take him. Again, I'm in one of those guys that believes that until you solve your quarterback position, you got to keep trying to fix it.
Yes.
And that means that I would take probably Herbert in that situation. Now, having watched him and evaluated him, I don't love him, but I don't love Tua either. And so I think from that standpoint, I think the better pick is Herbert because he's healthy. And I think there is a lot to work with. I mean, there are guys around the league that think he could be a star. And I'm talking about, a guy who could be – some guys that compared him to Matt Ryan, I think he'd probably end up being – they'd be thrilled if they got a Matt Ryan-type quarterback, even though they passed on Matt Ryan way back in the day. So I think the guy I would pick would be Herbert.
It looks like you and I are kind of on the same page. I can't buy Tua only because of the injuries. I just don't think in a league where they play more games, they're bigger, stronger, and they hit harder, he's actually going to stay healthy in this league. I have a hard time believing that. And then I'm with you on Herbert. He just doesn't convince me. I would take a position player at 5. But one of the things I've been telling Dolphin fans is when you've got 14 picks, you've got 13 more after that. If you know what the hell you're doing in the front office, you can actually gamble on 5 and take whichever one of those quarterbacks you like. And then it's up to you now. You've got to be responsible over the next 13 picks. You need to kick some serious ass. So the Dolphins, unlike other teams, they can afford to take this gamble because they can go out and have a great draft even by failing at number 5. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, and again, if you don't solve the quarterback position, I don't care how good you are at your other positions, you're not going to be a good football team. That's the way of the NFL. I mean, that's the way it is. So why not take the shot on the quarterback until you hit it? And everybody will say, well, why couldn't they wait for next year? Well, they can't wait for next year because you never know what kind of position you're going to be in the following year. So I definitely think they're in the right situation to take quarterback this year, and I would take Herbert just to be safe on it.
Are you a Love guy? Do you like any of the other QBs after the big 3 that we talk about constantly?
No, look, I love Burrow, and after that, it's a light for a lot of guys. I don't. Herbert, I think, has a chance if you can get the right coaching and get him polished and work on a few of the mechanical things that he has flaws with. Tua, if he's healthy, but that's a major if there. And to be honest with you, I don't love him if he's healthy. I think he's good. I don't think he's great. And Love is so inconsistent. And again, there's a lot to work with, but inconsistency, it shows up a lot. So to answer your question, no, I don't. I would take Herbert.
Is there another quarterback, a sleeper that you like at all on the back end? Like I kind of like the Davidson kid from Princeton. I saw him at the East West Shrine. And, as a late pick, a 4th, 5th rounder, I think that's a guy that's going to be a pretty interesting gamble. Is there another guy that at least has intrigued you, that you're not going to go overboard for him, but has intrigued you?
Luton, I think, from Oregon State. A big, strong, powerful arm, can throw it around a little bit. A little bit inconsistent as well, but Luton would be the guy later in the draft I would take a flyer on.
I am so with you there. Luton is definitely the guy that is another one of those late round guys, like the kid in FIU too. I think he's another guy that's going to be kind of interesting to take a late round pick. And of course, we're talking with Pete Prisco, senior NFL columnist. You can follow him on Twitter at PriscoCBS. Pete, who's your favorite player in this draft? Who's the guy that you look at and you say can't miss?
Derek Brown.
Really?
And
okay.
People will say, wow.
Yeah.
And I think when he gets a little bit of coaching, good coaching in terms of what he can do with his hands as a pass rusher, he's going to be special. He lifts guys up off the ground. He's a power player. Reminds me of old player Jerome Brown. I mean, I think he can be to that level. And the late Jerome Brown was special and would have really been special had he, lived longer. But I think Derek Brown is in that class. I love Derek Brown.
Do you buy Epinesa? Because I don't see him being a great pass rusher at the next level. I think he could be a really good guy stopping the run, holding the edge for you, but I don't know about being a pass rusher. Where are you with Epinesa as a pass rusher?
He's a better football player than he is tester. I mean, you put him in terms of pass rushing, though. You see what he did to Austin Jackson? Some people think that Austin Jackson will be a first-round pick. Epinesa will be one of those guys that a team at the back end of the first-round draft, maybe the Patriots, and he ends up being a 8 to 10 sack, good player, can slide inside on passing down. I think Epinesa is a really good football player who just didn't test that well. I don't ever think he's going to be an elite pass rusher, but I think he's going to be a good one.
Where do you stand with the tackles? If Miami goes at 5 for a tackle, who's the guy you pick? Who's your number one guy?
In terms of upside, it's Becton, but there's a little risk there. So the safest one, I think, is Thomas. And I think, being the guy he was on the left side in the SEC, played against a lot of good pass rushers, I think Thomas is the safest of the group. You might get a all-world hit on Becton, but Thomas is the guy that's probably going to be consistently, 5, 6, 7 Pro Bowls. Might not ever be the number one guy, but could be the 2 guy for a long time.
So let me ask you, Pete, are you worried about Becton's test failure at the combine? Because that's kind of that one always concerns me, Pete. When all these kids know that the tests are coming, and it's easy to prepare for this, stay away from the stuff, and yet he still tests positive. How concerned are you about that?
Well, it's concerning. I mean, not so much for smoking the pot, but for being a guy that's not aware enough to be ready to take the test, like you said, and so that is a concern. And I think teams will look into that and figure it out. But nowadays, with pot in your system, it's not that big a deal. No. Again, you're right, though. The concern is, how do you not get ready for the test?
Yeah, well, you know what? Jordan Love has me, a little concerned about that, too, because he got busted. And, again, it's not about the weed, because I know that thing's going to be, legal in all 50 states eventually. Hell, it's going to be legal a lot faster now that we're going to have to bounce back with our economy. All these politicians are going to want to put that thing legal to get the taxes in there. But my point is, it's your decision-making. It's like Jordan Love, dude, you're the quarterback. You got the draft coming up. You get busted with weed. Becton, hey, you're going to take the test at the combine. You get busted. These kind of decisions, those are the things that you have to worry about if you're a football team, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, how can you? It's just like when a guy scores a poor number on the Wonderlic test. You go, okay, well, why did he do that? Well, they're prepped to do it, so it's even more concerning if you put stock into that test. And not all teams do, but again, nowadays guys are taught to be ready for that test, and if you're not ready for the test, that's a major red flag. So yeah, you're right. It's more about how you're perceived than what you actually did.
Pete, you've covered lots of drafts. Are you worried about the whole what's it called test with Tua getting the low score? Because I'm not really. That doesn't really concern me as much. But how about you?
No, but again, he prepped for it, and the second time around, it didn't improve by that much. But again, Dan Marino scored 13?
Yeah,
and he was arguably the quickest processor of information we've seen on the football field. So. No, I'm not worried about it. But again, when Dan Marino took the test, he probably looked at it and goes, what the hell does this have to do with football, and threw it to the side. These guys are actually prepping for it. So there's a big difference, I think, back in the day and what it is now.
All right, Pete, if Miami's going to go running back at 26, who's the guy? Is it the first running back off the board at 26? Is it the second running back off the board? What direction would Miami go if they were thinking running back at 26? And then follow up, if they don't go 26, who's there for you at 39? Because that's a weapon they need to add to this offense.
Yeah, I wouldn't go running back first round. I just don't think the value is there. I think they have other positions of need, and if I'm looking at that draft, I wouldn't take a running back in that spot. I'd wait, and I think the second round will be a run on the backs, and you'll see. I like the kid from LSU. I think he's going to be a big-time player. Reminds me of Maurice Jones-Drew. Catch the ball out of the backfield. Tough enough to run inside the tackles. I do like Jonathan Taylor. I think Cam Akers will be a steal. Played behind terrible offensive lines at Florida State. I think he's going to be a steal. So I think they'll get a good running back in the second round. Don't rush it. Take your time. Be patient. Pick him in the second round.
Follow him on Twitter, baby. It's Prisco CBS. He is Pete Prisco, of course, the senior NFL columnist. Pete, as always, my man, thank you for taking some time. I know you're busy as hell this week. Enjoy the draft, my brother.
All right, take care, Big O. See ya.
You got it, baby. There you go. Pete Prisco, good stuff as always. Always appreciate him taking some time to talk a little draft with us. And that's what I love about all of this. And we're going to have so much fun as Dolphin fans throughout this process, because the intrigue is at 5, first of all, are you going to go a position player or are you going to take the gamble on the quarterback, right? And we've talked about this last week. And again, you have to understand, if you're the Dolphins and you have 14 picks, you have luxuries that other teams don't have. You can take chances that other teams can't. You have the patience that other teams cannot have. Some teams are looking to win now. Some teams, some GMs and coaches must make the instant impact right now because they will get fired by the end of the year, okay? I.e. Bill O'Brien, right? Bill O'Brien's got to make an impact this year coaching with his team. If he doesn't, he's probably going to get fired, right? Bird's Nest in his face, Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn in Detroit. They've got to get results this year or they're going to get fired. So there are people that are going into it on a hot seat. So their draft and their desperation and their urgency is at another level. Of course, there's urgency with the Dolphins. You want to improve. You want to start taking the next step. But those next steps aren't pressured into playoffs, into the Super Bowl. None of that stuff is there. Nobody's sitting there going, well, the Dolphins are supposed to be in the playoffs next year. Nobody's saying that. Okay? So those kind of expectations aren't there. But what you got to love is they have the luxury of, okay, well, and this is what they're going to do at 5. Okay? If they take that quarterback at 5, it's because they're saying we can take the gamble. Neither guy's going to be available at 18. So let's just take the gamble now, and let's make sure we kick ass at 18, at 26, at 50, and so on and so forth. Right? That's what you're doing. If you take the quarterback at 5, you're now saying, okay, now the pressure is seriously on us for the rest of the draft, because we have to have the kind of draft that this pick at 5 doesn't matter. Seriously. That's the kind of draft you have to have, that from 18 on, the draft does not matter at 5. That the pick at 5 is supposed to be a bonus. If the quarterback hits, you have one of the greatest drafts of all time in Dolphin history. If the pick doesn't hit, you still had a great draft. That's what you have to do. And that's the scenario that you're stuck in if you're the Miami Dolphins. And I don't mean it in a negative way that you're stuck in. No, but this is the luxury you have. And while I'm not a Herbert fan by any stretch whatsoever, if they take him, I know what they're telling me. They're telling me we can't trust Tua. He's a sack of injuries. We're not going to put the weight of the world on that kid because he's going to break down and crumble. That's what they're telling me. And if they take Tua over Herbert, they're telling me we don't believe in Herbert. We believe in Tua. We just hope that he stays healthy. That's what the explanation is. Because the only reason you take Herbert over Tua, it's because you have total confidence, like I do, that Tua will break down on a consistent basis and will not last in the NFL. Because that's what I believe. Now, that doesn't matter what I believe. The Dolphins may take him and say, hey, man, we'll cross our fingers. We hope he stays healthy. We hope he learns to get rid of the football. We'll build the best line possible in front of him. We'll try to protect him as much as possible. We'll take the gamble, and then we'll worry about the rest of the draft. That's all. That's what they're telling you if they take either or quarterback. And if they go position player, they're telling you that we don't believe that Herbert's going to be a good quarterback, and we believe that Tua will be injury prone like he's been throughout his career. That's all. They can tell you whatever they want publicly. Well, you know, we really like Thomas, and we really like Becton, and we really like whatever. They pick at 5. Okay? Brown, you name it. Whatever. Oh, no, because these are the guys we really target. Bull crap. What they can't tell you is we had to take Brown, we had to take Thomas, we had to take Becton, we had to take Wirfs. Why did we have to do that? Because we don't believe in the quarter. They're not going to tell you that.
You'll be able to read between the lines.
That's all it is. That's all it is. And that's the one thing about that number 5 pick. That's going to tell you exactly what they feel about the other guys. Because we all think pretty much the same thing. Most people, if you're drafting Herbert, you're drafting him simply on potential. Because he's never realized it. He's never shown it to you. He has glimpses, as they say. Every once in a while, he'll make a throw that you're like, holy crap. He'll make a run that, whoa. He'll make a read that you, whoa. You know, he has these physical tools that you can't teach, you can't develop. It's that dude up there, bro. That dude up there says, this is what you get. And they gave him a boatload of physical ability. But how much have we seen that over the history of the NFL? A ton of times. There's all kinds of guys with ability, and yet they couldn't play in the league. Right? And with Tua, it's not about ability. Everybody pretty much across the board respects his ability, respects his passing acumen, respects his, especially me, I get sexually aroused, his accuracy. Okay? I get orgasmic when they're accurate. I mean, I've seen enough inaccurate quarterbacks in the history of my Dolphin existence. From David Woodley to Pat White to Ryan Tannehill, you name it, baby. I know what inaccurate looks like. I've watched it forever. And when I see accurate, wow, do I get aroused. And that's Tua. So we all have the same feelings. Don't let them kid you. And whoever drafts Herbert, they're going to sell you a whole bunch, a load of crap. Okay? They're going to sell you a mountain-sized crap that, oh, no, we love the kid. We think he's phenomenal. We think he's a leader. Bull crap. They got their fingers crossed. They got rabbit's feet. They've got four-leaf clovers. They're searching for. They're praying he can put it all together. Because whoever drafts Herbert, they're saying, what if we do this? What if we coach him like this? What if we go this way? That's what they're doing. You know why? It doesn't exist on film. That's the thing. Oh yeah, let's put those games where where Herbert brought his team back from 2-3 touchdowns and was passing the ball left and right all over the place. Nope, they don't exist. They just don't exist. And that's the problem. When the resume's not there and you haven't seen the person perform at that level, now you've got to develop it and hope he can do that. That's what you're doing at that spot at 5. So 5 will determine and will tell you exactly what the Dolphins are thinking and where they're going. And they've got all those options. And the beauty for the Dolphins, and again, here's where we go from one sway of emotions to another, right? And that's where I would say you got to slow down too, because there's going to be some of you out there. Okay, well, you know what? Use me as the example. I'm not a Tua guy because of the injuries, right? I think I'm pretty much on the record with that. Right? For a long time now, I've been telling you I would never draft Tua because of the injuries. Right? I'm certainly not a Herbert guy. Correct? So there's some of you out there that are in my camp. You feel the same way I do. I'm not taking Tua. I can't trust the kid. You need crazy glue to put them together and keep them together. Hell, I need gorilla glue to keep the guy together, right? Because that's supposedly better than crazy glue now, right? Gorilla glue is like number one, supposedly. Okay, so we need gorilla glue to keep the kid together, right? And so Herbert is a guy you don't trust. Some of you label him like Tannehill, which he's really not. That's a lazy term. It's only because he's been inaccurate at times. And he's actually not inaccurate all the time. I think it's more about fundamentals. But he doesn't need to learn the position. He doesn't need to learn how to throw a deep ball. He doesn't need to learn instincts. No, he's nothing like Ryan in that sense, actually. The introvert part is like Ryan, yeah, and he has some inconsistencies with his passing, but he actually plays like a quarterback, whereas Ryan plays like an athlete that has to learn how to play quarterback. But my point is, there's some of you out there that are just like me, that you question both guys. And you want Thomas or you want Brown or Wirfs or Okuda or Simmons or whoever you want at 5. That's what we love. There's several players. But you're going to be like pissed at the Dolphins if they take either of those quarterbacks. And that's where I would tell you, pump the brakes. That's where I would tell you, slow way down right now. Why? Because there's 13 more picks. And they might have a monster draft like we've talked about without number 5. Because there's a part of the Dolphins that have to think if they have confidence in their ability to pick, then you don't have to worry about what they do at 5. You should be great. I mean, my Lord, if we didn't have 14 picks and they had 13 picks and the first one starts at 18, we still would be super psyched about this draft. The 5th pick doesn't make it like, oh my Lord, this draft is incredible. No, just adds to an incredible draft already of picks. 13 or 14, whatever, bro. You got 13 swings. You need to hit a bunch of them. So that's where I would tell you that at pick 5, don't get disillusioned. Don't get pissed off. Don't get concerned. Don't get worried. You could be, a little unhappy with it, because I know I will be. I know with Tua, I'm going to be kind of unhappy because I'm going to go, okay, I know the kid can pass, but he can't stay healthy. And then the Herbert kid is like, well, I've never seen dog in the guy. So you're going to take the junkyard dog out of him? I don't like that. Put it this way. Any of you ever run a business? Any of you ever been, I don't know, playing a pickup game? Any of you, I'm trying to find a scenario where it pops up. But my point is, you either know somebody has it or they don't. Right? Every day you go to work, at least whenever you get back to work, there's somebody in your office that's a lazy ass. And, like, you know it. And, like, you don't have to. It's there. And that person won't change. You either have it or you don't. And to me, that's kind of what it's all about. And some guys have it or they don't. Herbert's never shown me that he has it. You either have that work ethic or you don't. It's not something that you can pull out of somebody. Okay? You can fine-tune an athlete that has great effort. But if that great effort is not there naturally, you're never going to get it out of them. That's all. Somebody can want to work, and then they can screw up a whole bunch, but they have the drive to work. So you can mold that. But the teacher can't mold the kid that never brings his homework. And you can try to give him detention after detention, and the parents can scream at him, and the teacher can talk. But if he or she is not self-motivated to do the homework, they're never going to do it. If he or she is not self-motivated to do the work inside the classroom, they're never going to do it. You either have it or you don't. You either show it or you don't. And that's my problem with Herbert. And that's where anybody that drafts him is saying, if we do this, maybe we can get this. I can't do that at number 5. I can't. But I know it's going to be tough. I get it. I do understand, that it's going to be an emotional type of moment for a lot of people out there. But we gotta show a little patience here, because our team that we root for, if you're a Dolphins fan and you're watching and listening, they have a ton of options, and they can take a chance or two that nobody else can. And listen, at least they're not taking chances on a guy that's a complete knucklehead and is a criminal or beating women or has got a video out, like the Oklahoma running back Joe Mixon had, that kind of stuff. At least we're not talking about those kind of issues. Okay? Tua's a great kid. Herbert's a great kid. Now, one may not be emotionally ready to lead a locker room of men, and the other one has physical issues in a very physical game. But they're not bad people. They're both smart kids. They're both good football IQ guys. Forget about the Wonderlic stuff. I don't care about that stuff. But football-wise, they're both pretty smart guys overall. So at least you don't deal with all the other character issues that are real negatives. These are more about football. We'll see. But that's the interesting thing, the interesting dynamic of all of this. All right, so we've done already 40 minutes already? 40 minutes.
Really close.
Yeah, pretty close. That's like an hour and like 20 minutes in a regular radio station. Maybe more, maybe an hour and 30, actually. We do want to remind you that the show is proudly brought to you by Toyota of Hollywood. We'll be out there on Thursday, over 400,000 square feet, state-of-the-art facility, number one volume sales dealership when it comes to Toyotas in the Southeast United States. So get on down there. Go see Herbie Lopez. Go see Gary Thompson, Rick, Steve Ostrov, all the great people out there, man. They'll take care of you at 1841 North State Road 7. That's, of course, the finest Toyota dealership on the planet. Take it from somebody that drives a Camry XSE every single day, and I love my vehicle, man. It is a beautiful thing. I love it. I love it even more when I can put gas at $1.67 like I did right next door. That is just absolutely amazing. I haven't paid $1.67 in forever. Anyway, go on down there to 1841 North State Road 7, baby. It is Toyota of Hollywood. Hour number 2 is next.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Will reimburse payments up to a total of $1,800 based on purchase and MSRP on approved credit on select models. Excludes tax, tag, title, and includes $8.99 dealer fee. Offer ends 5/4/20.
Toyota of Hollywood is open, and we're here to serve you. The safety of our customers and associates is our top priority. Toyota of Hollywood is following strict guidelines, including social distancing and keeping our facilities clean and sanitized. Buy with zero down, 0% APR financing, and we'll make your payments till 2021. Pay up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 2019 pre-owned Camry LE, not $27,000, $16,775. 2020 pre-owned Corolla LE, not $22,000, $13,775. Shop and save at our 400,000 square foot dealership at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2019 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
We back. Hey, this hour, Mike Reese, our buddy from ESPN, NFL Nation reporter. He covers the Pats on a daily basis. He is going to join us. Remember, we're out here at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. And today is 420. And if you make a purchase over $4.20, you will get a free gift bag. So come on out here. Maybe you need to get some new papers. Maybe you need to get some disposable cigs, e-cigs. They've got the single pack. They've got the 3-packs. Maybe you need the e-juice. Maybe you need the, what's that called again? Shisha. The shisha for the hookahs. Maybe you need a hookah. Hookahs start here in $19.99 and up. All right? They've got all kinds of water pipes out here. They've got all kinds of contraptions out here to store your stuff. You name it, man. They've got those cool little bags that you can put your stuff in, and it traps in the odor so that way it doesn't get out. And then you throw it in the dryer for a couple of minutes, the bag, and the smell is completely gone. It's pretty amazing stuff. They got all kinds of I'm telling you, you name it, they've got it. All right? So come on out here to 12397 Pembroke Road. Go to vsswestpines.com. You can order by phone, 954-633-3317, and they actually you can actually pick it up here outside. 3367, by the way, 613-3367. You can actually pick it up outside. You can pull up in your car. They'll take it right to your car. It's a beautiful thing. By the way, thanks to all out there. Give us the thumbs up while you're watching. Share the link. Send it to a friend on a text, on Facebook, on Twitter. Post it. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe also here on the program. We thank all of you out there. And you guys, the thing is, this has grown so much now that there's no way of me reading all these things anymore. I used to be able to go through it and then, but now I mean, there's 155 people on there right now. It's really hard. Lewis Jones is saying, what's up, Big O? What's your say on a successful Dolphin draft? Get a bunch of starters. Let's see what else. I want Brown or Wirfs at 5. That's what Sean Campbell says. Draco Vitae says 420. Ian from Brooklyn says, happy 420. Stay safe, everybody. I'm puffing LOL. Marta is saying, love your Snoop shirt. Yeah. Well, of course, 420. I figured today, I got to wear a 420 appropriate shirt. So I figured I'd get my Snoop Dogg concert shirt and I'd, wear that instead. Got to do that. Mark Angelo is saying happy 420. We love you, brother. Thank you for watching and supporting as always. Eugene96 says, Big O, I got you at the Publix warehouse in Boynton. Love it. Yeah. We love Publix. Anthony Giandelletti says, newest smokescreen, Giants are looking at Justin Herbert. They can have him. Let's see what else. Dean G says, I hope and pray Herbert gets picked before Miami picks him. What else? Bro Marshmelly says, good morning. I'm kind of like scrolling and going through because I can't read them all. Sharif West says, good morning, Dolphins. Love you all. Stay inside, please. Let's see. What else do we have? Please, 1 errand a day. Mask off for week 1 without the Molly or the Percocet. Okay. All right. Molly and Percocet. Okay. Flipside Fishing says, I would love Herbert at 5. DJ Lloyd says, agreed. Derek Brown is a beast. King Short is chiming in. Frank Moreno says, Big O, have you done your own mock draft? No, I don't. I don't do those things. I quit. Maybe next year we'll do more stuff on the website and Bill will tell me, do a mock, and I'll end up doing it. Orlando Kakanopoulos says, Pete Prisco used to date my sister. She told me he's on the all-CAC team as well. Okay. I'm glad that he's on the all-CAC team. 72 Fins logo says Tua's overrated. Moneyman says, what do y'all think about trading for Jags running back? He's injury-prone. Plus, he's in the last year of his contract. I'd rather draft a young guy now, Swift or somebody, and build on that instead of a guy that you got to pay next year and has been injury-prone. He had a good year last year. I will give him that. Wendy Torrance says, happy 420, peeps. Have a chill and relaxed day. Try to smoke your own joints. Puff, puff. Don't pass, baby. Go Fins. Let's find a way to get 4 first-round picks, Big O. As always, stay real. Thank you. Thank you. What else do we have here? ISIS, I think is the name. What's up, Big O? Why take the best player on the board? Or maybe you mean why not take the best player on the board? I have no problem with that, man. Joe Tesori says, worried about Herbert's leadership. You should be, my brother. Let's see. Ty says, good morning, everybody. Greatest draft in franchise history, Big O. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. That's what we need, right? Dan Horsley says, if Simmons at 5, he has to be the pick. If Simmons is gone, then Wirfs will be the next best impact player to take. Ricky Perez says, what's up, Big O? Could you ask Bill if he went to Pace High School his freshman year? Did you go to Pace High School your freshman year?
Of course, man. I went St. John's 1st through 8th, transferred to Pace, and then went to Hialeah 10th.
Do you know Ricky Perez?
Ricky Perez, yes, I do.
He says, pretty sure I remember him from then. Take care, brother, and you guys are the best at what you do. Go
If I'm
Fins.
not mistaken, Ricky Perez I had in science class.
Oh, Ricky, did you have him in science class?
With Tom Duffin.
Okay. Terry Robisky says, Big O, if they don't take a QB in the first round, do you think that's an indication that they believe in Rosen? Not at all. I just think that they're now going to reach for the guy that's there if they don't do it. Okay? That's probably what it is.
Look at this, Mr. Samuel's science class, by the way. How about that for a memory?
Ah, there you go. Thomas Bolsero says, Tua too fragile. Josh says, what the F? Laughing my ass out loud. I don't know what you're laughing about, but I'm glad you're laughing because laughing is a good thing. It's good for the soul. Miguel Garcia says, Big O, what's new for the draft? We will be broadcasting every day is what it is. Let's see. I would like to broadcast at a business on Thursday. The Don Horsley says the problem with your thinking on Breeze. I wanted Breeze. That must be another conversation. Man, there's so many texts. Dolphin Met 70 says, give me Tua and the glue. Let's see. Sean goes, give me your 3 first-round picks. Sean, I'll give you the 3 first-round picks as they happen. So watch the show, and when number 4 is done, I'll tell you who I pick at 5. Then when 17 is done, I'll tell you who they pick at 18. And then when 25 is gone, I'll tell you who I pick at 26. Let's go with the players that are left on the board so I can actually give you, instead of these fantasy drafts and fantasy selections that fans and media do. Oh, I just did my 7-round mock. And what does that mean? Cameron Cox says 7th. I don't know what that means. But we like you listening. Thank you, Cameron. Marino says, take Tua no matter what. It's worth the risk 100%. A lot of people feel like you, my man. A lot of people feel like you. Let's see. And again, with all the picks they have, why not? Easy Eddie says, Big O, what's your opinion of Anthony Gordon? I feel he's been the forgotten QB in this draft. I would love the Finns to take him in the 4th. I don't know if he lasts to the 4th. I think he's a 3rd rounder at least. I really do. I think he gets taken in the 3rd. But we'll see. Because it's such a desperate league. Richard Sardina says, we have to take the safe bet at 5 with Herbert and get a good running back you can draft. Anthony at a later round. Pau Carajo. All right? Again, it's just more and more texts are coming in, and it is awesome. You guys are amazing. Ricky Perez says, too cool, brother. I recognize your voice. So there you go.
Man, from 9th grade.
Poor guy. Poor guy. He remembers you. I feel bad for you. You must have, like, nightmares or something. Lester Colebrook says, love you, Big O. Well, we love you too, Lester. Thank you, my man. Thank you for giving us the love and tuning in and sharing the link and subscribing and listening and everything that you guys are doing and watching this thing grow. I mean, we haven't hit on our chat board yet 200. We haven't hit. We're at 172 right now. That's pretty. No, that's not true. We did hit 200 once. We had like 1,500. That one time.
That was compliments of the O-Hose, man.
Yeah, the hose came in, the bots came in and bombarded us, and it went to like 1,500 watching. And it was like, what the hell is that? And then they like disappeared, the bots. And so some of the hoes stuck around. We blocked them or whatever, but yeah. But that one doesn't count. This one is like the one that counts now. This might be the highest on the chat board right now legally. The other one at 1,500 doesn't count because that one was kind of bogus with the bots. Okay, but there's 172. Let's go, man. Let's get the likes going. Get those likes up there, man. There's 172. Let's get 170, at least 170 likes. I can understand maybe 1 or 2 of these. That's fine with me. You know, we're not going to make everybody happy. I can't even make my wife happy, so I can't expect to make all of you guys happy out there. I mean, give me a break. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Did you guys see Peter King's mock? So Peter King, now remember Peter King, he is, one of the best ever in our business, a great insider, all of that. But when we talk about football and opinions, well, 2 weeks ago, he wanted Miami to trade 4 first-round picks for Joe Burrow. Okay? And as much as I love and respect Peter King, that is crazy. I would never, ever do that. And I like Joe Burrow, but I'm also disciplined enough to know that it's only 1 year that he's done this. And so I still, am a little concerned about that. I would take him at number 1 overall, but there's no way in the world I'm at number 5, and I'm going to trade my number 5 pick and 3 more first-rounders to get the young man. There's no way in my right mind I could do that. Okay? So he comes out with his mock, and he's got Burrow 1. Ninth pick in the second round to move up from 5 to 3 to take Justin Herbert. I would be pretty disappointed about that. That's another move that I don't know if he's getting any insight from anybody. If he is, and it's anybody on the Dolphin side, I'm disappointed. I'm distraught. And as for Peter King, if that's what he thinks should happen, it's almost as bad as 4 first-rounders for Joe Burrow. Remember I told you if they take one of the quarterbacks at 5, don't freak out, relax, let the rest of the draft take place. If they actually traded up to number 3 to take Justin Herbert, now I would be a little pissed. I mean, you still have the rest of the draft to have, you still have 12 more picks. So you got plenty of picks to have a great draft. But I would be pissed because now I lost 39, and I would feel like I gave away 5 or 3, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Because I'm just not a Herbert guy. I've never been. So he's got that. And I'm not done yet, okay? So he's got Tristan Wirfs, my boy, going to the Giants at 4, and then Detroit takes Okudah, which is what they would take at 3, right? And he's got Andrew Thomas going to the Chargers at 6. All right, so then he's got Miami taking A.J. Epinesa at number 18. I like Epinesa, the run stopper. I would disagree a little bit with Prisco on how good Epinesa is going to be as a pass rusher. I don't think he'll be an 8 to 10 guy. I think he'll be a 5 to 8 guy. That's what I think. And so he's got Epinesa, and then he's got Miami taking Austin Jackson at number 26. He's got New England moving up to 13 to take Tua. So San Francisco trades down from 13. They get a couple of picks, or like 3 picks from the Patriots, and the Patriots get Tua at 13. Now, the funny part is Dolphin fans that, like me, that don't believe that Tua will stay healthy, not that I would think this, but there's going to be a fraction of those that don't feel that Tua will stay healthy, that when the Patriots take him, they're going to feel uncomfortable about it. And they're going to, oh, no, he's going to stay healthy with the Patriots because that's the Patriots. They'll get every break in the book. I can see that happening. I can see people, acting like that. Now, do I think Tua's going to drop to 13? I don't, and I don't think the Patriots are going to move up. It's, Peter did a nice job of creating a mock that people would talk about. And why put up the same mock that everybody else does? Put up a mock that has some controversy, some crazy-ass moves, and then that will get the conversation going like what we're doing here. But there's no way that I feel that, 1, you're going to trade up to take Herbert, and 2, I'm taking Epinesa at 18. I'd rather take Zach Bond at linebacker. I think Zach Bond might end up being a better pass rusher than Epinesa. And he can cover, and he's smart as hell, and he can run sideline to sideline. And he could just follow in the steps of some of the former great Dolphin linebackers. He would be one of them. I would happily take that guy at 18. And that's reaching for Zach. Because Zach probably is more of the guy you take at 26. Because that's where he's going to go in that area. Or just after, maybe. But I'm telling you, I love Zach Bond. I don't care where you take him in that second half of the draft, in first round or early second. Whoever gets Zach Bond is going to get themselves one hell of a player. Love that guy. It's going to be a lot of fun watching that one. Big O, what do you think about trading for Watson rumors? I think it's absolutely stupid and ridiculous. Okay? I mean, so Watson gets they take a picture of him over the weekend, and he's practicing out here throwing the ball in a Dan Marino shirt. All right, let's go back to Joe Burrow. All right? And I'll do this, what I'm going to do with Deshaun Watson and I did with Joe Burrow. Okay? Everybody that talked about possibly Miami drafting Joe Burrow, anybody that did a talk show with that about the Dolphins drafting Joe Burrow, they only did it because they're not a good enough talk show host, sports-wise, because they had to reach for a sorry subject to use as, I don't know, it's kind of like clickbait in a way, for radio. And then the same thing for writers. Any writer or columnist that was entertaining Miami trading up for Joe Burrow, that writer or that columnist lacked any ideas, lacked any creativity, so they reached for the lazy article, the article that was never going to be realistic because they never had a shot at Joe Burrow. Or the writer had to deal with an editor that is clueless and was saying, let's write about the Dolphins trading up for Joe Burrow because it's good clickbait. Even though we know, maybe, some of them might have, a lot of them probably thought there was a chance. So they reach for the story. And then some of you silly-ass fans, then you fall for it hook, line, and sinker. And you're talking with your buddies about Dolphins possibly trading up for Joe Burrow. So you fill your head up with all that BS that will never happen. But you go ahead and play the mental masturbation game. And you go ahead and be a complete sucker for writers and lazy radio and TV hosts that can't do their jobs. In comes Deshaun Watson, part 2 of Joe Burrow. The Dolphins have no shot at Deshaun Watson. 0. Okay? But again, if you want to go and have some fun and play with your mind and, again, whatever, tease yourself and get into all the stupid talk that you got a shot at Deshaun Watson, the owner will fire Bill O'Brien before he trades Deshaun Watson. If they get rid of Deshaun Watson on that team, the city of Houston will burn down Reliance Stadium. Do you understand that? Just like the Bengals, there was never a chance that you were ever going to trade for Joe Burrow. But if you want to be a lazy talk show host, if you want to be a lazy writer, and you just want to write the story because you need clicks or you need to stir up some emotion on your radio show, then go ahead. I don't do that on this show. I don't do things I don't go and talk about controversies I don't create controversies. I'll talk about them when they're legitimate. I don't talk about fake trades. I'll talk about them when they're legitimate. I don't get into stupid hypotheticals. I'll talk about the real move when it's happening and when it has happened. I don't need that. That's all. So, I hope I answered your question about Deshaun Watson. You have no shot at Deshaun Watson. But if you want to entertain stupid-ass conversations, then you go ahead and talk about it. I mean, All of you that were talking Joe Burrow, I hope you're feeling stupid right now. All of you out there that actually thought they had a chance at Joe Burrow, I hope you're feeling like complete freaking morons because you never had a shot at Joe Burrow. Yet somehow or another, you wanted to convince yourselves that you had a shot at Joe Burrow or that they were going to trade 8,000 picks for Joe Burrow. So if you want to do the same stupid-ass stuff for Deshaun Watson, then you go ahead. We play reality on this show. And sometimes reality is brutal, but that's how we play it. Whether the reality is sweet or whether it's brutal. Terry S. says 420, blaze up. Amen to that. Man of 1,005 holds says Finns still have holes to fill. Why trade 3 first-rounders for Burrow when the team's not fixed yet? Man of 1,005 holds, you, sir, you know how to make sense. Not smoke it. Daniel Rodriguez says, I would have a heart attack. Sardina says, I agree with Big O saying that's when Mr. Tua gets sacked. He will break in half, so you tell me who the Dolphins should take. There you go. Let's see. What else do we have here? Armed Ape. I was on a QB at 5, not now. Neither QB is worth 5. Big O is right. You don't take a project that high. Now I'm going to take a tackle, build a great line. The rest will follow. Yeah. Yeah. Man, you won 5 games with no line and no running game. Let me repeat that one more effing time. You won 5 games with no line and no running game. Let me do that again. You won 5 games. You went 5-4 in your last 9 games with no offensive line and no running game. Man of 1,005 holds, you, sir, understand football. Build up the lines, baby. Not only can you win 5 games with no running game and no offensive line, we watched a playoff team advance a couple of weeks with their quarterback throwing for 70 yards a week because he had a line and a running game. Terry S. says, Big O looking like a prowler with those black gloves. Ha, ha, ha. Yes. Oh, we got a break. Yes, you are correct, sir. All right, let's do that. Let's take a quick break. Remember, we're out here at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road here at Pembroke Pines. Come on out here. 954-613-3367. Well, you got the number right here. You see it there. Anyway, you can order by phone and then pick it up. They'll take it right to your car. If you want to come by and say hi, I'll go out there and we'll say hi. Now, if we take a picture, we have to take, remember, we can't put our arms around each other, can't say hi, can't shake hands, all that stuff. But we can take a social distancing picture, which would be kind of funny, actually. So we can do that. All right, let's do this. Let's take a break. My buddy Mike Reese from ESPN NFL Nation, he covers the Patriots. He joins us next.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
We'll reimburse payments up to a total of $1,800 based on purchase and MSRP on approved credit. On select models excludes tax, tag, title, and includes $8.99 dealer fee. Offer ends 5/4/20.
Toyota of Hollywood is open, and we're here to serve you. The safety of our customers and associates is our top priority. Toyota of Hollywood is following strict guidelines, including social distancing and keeping our facilities clean and sanitized. Buy with zero down, 0% APR financing, and we'll make your payments till 2021. Pay up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 2019 pre-owned Camry LE, not $27,000, $16,775. 2020 pre-owned Corolla LE, not $22,000, $13,775. Shop and save at our 400,000 square foot dealership at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2019 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All right, we're back.
This is the Big O Show.
We take you till about 3. We're out here at VSS West Pines, baby. 12397 Pembroke Road. We continue, of course. It is draft week. We are draft intensive. We're kind of draft intensive all year as it is, but we're really draft intensive this week, and we've got obviously an all-star lineup all week long. We started off with Pete Prisco in the first hour. This hour, Mike Reese, my buddy from ESPN NFL Nation, does an excellent job of covering the Patriots on a daily basis. You can follow him on Twitter at Mike Reese. Let's bring him aboard. Mikey, good morning, my friend. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you? Hope you're healthy. Hope you're safe. And I wish all your listeners the same. These are unprecedented times. I hope we're all doing okay here.
Yeah, exactly. That's all we can do, Mikey, is just fight the good fight. And, you know, I'm really proud, I'm really proud of our country, Mike. I think overall, obviously, there's always going to be a couple of people that are never going to follow the rules the way they're supposed to. That happens in all walks of life. But I'm really proud of our country as Americans overall, how we've been really, really responsible in tackling this thing. Don't you agree?
Yep. Yeah. I think you see a lot of human kindness, too,
yep.
You know, and like I'll just share a personal story for you. You know, my wife is a director of public health in a local town here in Massachusetts. And yesterday morning, you know, one of the residents is in quarantine and needs, you know, food. And my wife went out and as part of her work, you know, to help the community, was out shopping, you know, to get them groceries. So wow. I think, I think you see a lot of people saying, what can I do to help? And I think that's really nice to see around the country.
That's what we're all about, bro, as Americans. That's what it's all about, baby, is coming together and getting through this, and I know we will. Now the question is, will the Patriots get through this change now? Because, Mikey, this is uncharted territories for you guys now. There is no Brady now. Now they got to start to find a new face, a new leader of this football team. Do they do it in this draft? What do you think?
Well, I would define the Patriots draft in terms of quarterback as this isn't about if, it's about when. they take a quarterback. They're going to come out of the draft after these 3 days with a quarterback. To me, the compelling question is when? Do they do it early? And if they do it early, there it is. Do they wait for the middle and sort of give you that open-ended competition with what they already have on the roster, or do they do it late, which tells you, hey, maybe they have more confidence on what's already on their roster than more people maybe think at this time. So to me, that is the compelling question surrounding the Patriots as we head into this draft.
What's your gut tell you, my brother? Are they going to bring in competition, or are they going to try to make a move? I mean, hell, Peter King's got him making a move to number 13 and getting Tua. So you tell me, what do you think?
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
If they go get Tua, if he slides down into the mid-teens. So here's what I would say. We've been around long enough to know that with quarterbacks in the first round, sometimes strange things can happen. 2005, did anyone think Aaron Rodgers was going to be there at 24 for the Packers? Heck no, going into that draft, right? And so the Patriots are sitting at 23, and you always have to leave yourself open to the scenario that you could have a Rodgers-like situation, whether it's Tua because of the medical with the hip, or whether it's Justin Herbert because, he's a fine prospect. Maybe a team says, I don't need to do it up high here in the first round because if I lose out on him, there's still some fairly decent quality depth here in this quarterback class. So I always leave open the possibility that it could happen. Now, let's say it goes chalk and it doesn't happen, and it's Tua 5 to the Dolphins, Herbert 6 to the Chargers, which seems to be conventional thinking. My thought would be the Patriots stand pat and they do what they usually do, which is make a boatload of picks, and one of those picks will be a quarterback, and it would probably come day 2, day 3 versus the day 1 scenario.
Is there a name out there that you've heard that maybe they might be intrigued with in that second tier of quarterbacks?
So, I've heard a lot of them. I think the question is more, what's the credible ones, right?
Right.
I mean, and so here's what I like to do. I sort of like to keep track, and I will tell you this. Last year, Matt Bowen of ESPN went through all the quarterbacks, and he said, here's the quarterback, and here's where he fits best. And last year, he put Jarrett Stidham of Auburn to the Patriots. What happened in the draft? The Patriots selected Jarrett Stidham. So I put a check mark next to Matt Bowen, and I say, okay, I want to seek out what he's saying about this year's class. And he said Jacob Eason of Washington is the guy that fits best for the Patriots. So that's your media side. Now, of course, as reporters, we're trying to talk to different scouts and coaches and people, and there are some that I'm told the Patriots have shown quite a bit of interest in, whether I don't know for sure who they are, but I will tell you one that I think is down your neck of the woods is this James Morgan.
Yes.
A small school prospect. And
I like him.
They've spent time talking to him. Now, I will say this, though. If they draft him, I don't think you're looking at him starting this year. That's more of a developmental type situation.
Yeah. And by the way, I like Eason, too, as a second-round gamble. And Ryan Mallett and Eason are a lot alike physically. Eason has way more maturity than Ryan Mallett. I mean, the stories that scouts were telling me about Mallett in Arkansas and stuff, it was just some crazy. I was actually shocked the Patriots took Ryan Mallett, to be honest with you, because I don't know how many stories you heard behind the scenes with Mallett, but from him leading drinking games and all that kind of stuff at bars, and it was crazy. And but he had a world of talent. He's big, got a great arm, and Eason is that guy. He's big. He's got a great arm. He doesn't have a lot of film, and so that's one of the things that that teams are a little weary of. And he's not mobile at all, which again is. It's almost like a Patriot thing. They've always taken guys that aren't necessarily the most mobile characters, out there. You know what I mean? At times at quarterback. So it's kind of odd that Bowen would say Eason. It would make a lot of sense because some of the physical characteristics remind me of Brady, some of the even more of Ryan Mallett, actually.
Yeah, and it's so, when I think about quarterbacks and compelling and the draft, this idea of that they haven't done the mobile route, because you've had Brady, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what the system has sort of been for the most part. Now I wonder, is the prototype maybe a little bit different? Because I will tell you, watching Jarrett Stidham in last year's preseason, he was keeping plays alive with his feet.
Yes.
And he was running. And so now I wonder, and again, it's just a wonder, and we'll find out for sure after the 3 days of the draft, do they now look at more mobile guys and say, well, we can now do a little bit more of that, whether it's Jarrett Stidham or a rookie quarterback that we draft, or even Brian Hoyer, their veteran backup, who can move a little bit. So that is another aspect, another layer to this whole quarterback question situation that the Patriots are in.
By the way, he experimented with that years ago at Michael Bishop.
He did.
Remember?
He did. That was way back.
Yeah.
That was way back in the early years of his tenure.
Yeah.
And I think the one point, and I always say the one point that he always makes is, you want your quarterbacks can have different skill sets, like Brady to Garoppolo in 2016. Like Garoppolo's a little bit different than Tom. I mean, he moved a little bit more.
Yes.
But you can't have it be a total extreme. And he would use the example of we're not going to have Brady and Michael Vick. We would literally need two different offenses. Right? So there's a middle ground in there somewhere.
Yeah, because Hoyer, Castle, Mallett. I mean, it's just one of those things. He doesn't really draft guys that really move around a lot, actually. It's just he wants a guy that's a real passer. And I kind of understand that too, that when you have the real passer, you're going to have more options in the end when it's all said and done. Mikey, and we're talking with Mike Reese, of course, who does an excellent job of covering the Patriots. I kind of feel that people use 2008 as a crutch at times, and they use that as, well, when he didn't have Brady, he had Matt Castle. And last week I kind of went back and I wanted to explain to people, and you tell me if I'm too off on this or maybe I'm kind of on target, because I kind of find it as a lazy take in a way, because the current Patriot team does not have Randy Moss and Wes Welker, and even Gaffney was their third guy. Ben Watson was tight end, Morris, Falk, and Green Ellis at running back. Then you have Matt Light, Mankins, Coppin, Kazur at line, Woolfolk, Seymour, Vrabel, Mayo, Brewski, Merriweather. I mean, that was a hell of a team that Castle quarterbacked. And so Castle's life was a lot easier. I don't believe whoever takes over at quarterback has it as easy as Matt Castle did. I believe this Patriot team has much more holes than that team that Brady ended up suffering an injury from. Am I way off on this? Am I on target? Is it somewhere in the middle? Where do you find that one?
So, well, I think it's a very fair point. And if you go back to that 2008 season, and I'm doing this off the top of my head, is they did not have the toughest schedule that year either. So in addition to the talented roster that you mentioned, the players around, the quarterback position.
Awesome roster.
They had so couple that with not the hardest schedule, and if you could, they were 11-5, and I will tell you, the 5 games they lost, they lost to better teams than them. They were if I remember, they were all playoff teams, and then the 11 games they won, if I remember, I forget how many playoff teams they had beaten, but it was minimal, right? And that's what I remember about that year. Now, I will say this. Patriots were very proud, the coaches on that staff, as they should have been, with how they adjusted their attack around Castle. They started to do some different things offensively that they wouldn't have been able to do with Tom Brady. And so I think, well, your point is well taken, and it's fair, and they have a much tougher, it looks like they're going to have a much tougher schedule this year. I do think there's some concepts that you can take from that year and apply to this year in terms of trying to have a successful season. But I do think, that is a fair point to say, they did 11-5 in 2008, everything's going to be okay this year. Well, there's a deeper look into that comparison that I think you made that's very fair.
Yeah, that to me is going to be. And by the way, I'm a Jarrett Stidham guy because I wanted him for the Dolphins. So
really,
yes, I fell in love with Jarrett Stidham the week of the Senior Bowl. I go there every year, and he was one of those guys that I looked at and I said, man, that's a guy I would take a flyer on. And when the Patriots took him, it was like Garoppolo. I kind of felt like it again. And I loved Garoppolo at the East-West Shrine, and then he got the late invite to the Senior Bowl, and then obviously his stock. Just because I remember at the East-West, Mikey, I was telling Dolphin fans, hey, you got to check this kid out, Garoppolo. Maybe the Dolphins can get him in the 3rd or 4th rounds. And then he goes to the Senior Bowl, and then he becomes a household name, and the rest is history. And Stidham was one of those guys that as a project guy, I like him. He's in that class this year with the Davidson kid from Princeton I like Morgan from FIU. I like Luton from Oregon State. I like Nate Stanley from Iowa. Those are the project guys that I like. Gordon from Washington State. I think those are project guys that I like this year too, that if any team takes those guys, Stidham to me has everything you need in an NFL quarterback. He doesn't really lack it. It's just whether you need to find out if he can do it. But you've watched him a little, Mikey. He doesn't lack anything: arm, athleticism, intelligence. You look at it all, and he has all the makeups that you need, at least the tools that you need to succeed at the next level.
I agree, and he had the best preseason of any rookie quarterback under Bill Belichick last year. But I know the first thing anyone would say when they hear that is, wait a minute, that's preseason. You're right, which is exactly what you said. You got to go out and prove it in the games that count. And I think this is where we can go back to 2008 and say, look, when they had to turn to Matt Castle, like they changed some things, and it needed to be everyone around Castle to help lift him up as he got his feet under him. And 2016, when the Patriots didn't have Brady for the first 4 games, when he was serving the NFL suspension, Garoppolo, a little bit similar, maybe a little further along than Jarrett Stidham is now, but they needed to do some different things. And then same thing with Jacoby Brissett when he had to come in for Garoppolo that year. And that was up and down, but he was a rookie at the time. So I think that to me is the whole framework of expectations. We don't know what Jarrett Stidham is going to be, but they need to sort of think of it through the Tom Brady 2001 prism before we knew what Brady would be. And Brady wasn't what he is now in 2001, even 2002, and same thing with Stidham, and they'll see if he can, give him a chance, see what it looks like, and they'll try to build the best infrastructure around him in that combination.
All right, Mikey, we'll wrap it up with this, and your time is valuable, I know, so thank you for taking some time today. Mike Reese, of course, ESPN NFL Nation reporter covering the Patriots on a daily basis. Follow him on Twitter at Mike Reese. All right, Mikey, it sucks to get old. I'm 53, and, the body doesn't work the same. Things start to just kind of fall off of you pretty much. That's kind of what I feel. But the only positive of being older is that you do have some perspective, and you can share that with younger people, and you can share it with your kids. Not that they're really going to pay attention to you, but whatever, you try. Here's the thing. All right, I've watched football for a long, long time, my brother, and I watched the wheels come off Chuck Noll. I watched the wheels come off Don Shula. We've watched the wheels come off Tom Landry. So it's not impossible that the great coaches don't lose their fastball a little bit. We are talking about the GOAT, the guy that has 6 titles as a head coach, another couple as one of the great assistants of all time. What's to say he lost the GOAT at quarterback now? What convinces you that he will not lose his fastball from here on out? You tell us.
Just turned 68, April 16th, just to give you that perspective on the age, the context. I'm going to go big picture on you here and say that losing Tom Brady perhaps provides that invigoration, that motivation for him to keep grinding it out. for another 5 years. And I know what you're saying. Father time catches up to all of us. Very fair. I don't see it.
Mikey, last night we're watching a little example of it. Jerry Krause was so dying to move on from Michael and Scotty and all of that, and they were dying to move on from Phil Jackson, and they've never recovered from dying to move on. Instead of, hey, you guys, we'll stick with you until your legs wear out, is what they should have said. So I'm just saying that, it's kind of the same thing here. He's dying to move on. Be careful what you ask for.
Yep, and I think that's very fair, and we'll see how that all turns out. I will say that there is a thought among some of the players that, look, everyone loves Tom Brady and everything he meant to the team, and no one's going to say a single bad word about him because as great of a player as he is, even as great of a person. Now, some players say, it's been more than Tom. Like, we've been here too. Like, football's the ultimate team sport. And so I think that mindset, whether it's from the players or Belichick, there's a feeling of this program is a program, and it's built on more than just one great player. And so perhaps that's the motivation, that's the thought process that helps him, not fall into the same, falling off category as you mentioned with some of the other coaches on that topic.
Yeah, and that will add to his history if he's able to turn the page here and find another one. That would be absolutely – it'll be a lot like Bill Walsh going from Steve Young, from Montana to Steve Young, and then continuing the role. That would be absolutely amazing. Mike, as always, you are a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you for taking the time and talking to us, as always, and giving us some great insight. You and the family stay safe, my friend, and enjoy the week. I know it's a busy one.
Right on. Right back at you, and best to all the listeners.
You got it, my brother. You be good. There you go. The great Mike Reese, man. Excellent work. Excellent interview there, talking a little bit about the Patriots. And that's going to be the interesting part about, we talked about the Dolphins and the options that they have. For the Patriots, it's, can we continue the magical run? Can we extend? The Colts tried to extend their success with Andrew Luck. The bridges met perfectly. Manning suffers the injury, which then leads them to a terrible, terrible season. That season leads them to Andrew Luck, and they thought that was going to be the bridge to continue success. Now, not the kind of Patriot success, obviously. 6 titles to 1 is a whole different ballgame, but my point is, they were still a winning team and a winning culture. And that's what they were hoping to continue with Andrew. And they did in the first couple of years, because obviously he took them to 3 straight playoff runs and deeper every year. But then the injuries and everything else. And now we know, where Indy is at. And they're trying to recapture that magic again. But it's not easy. And the Niners were able to make that trade for Steve Young. And Steve sat for a couple of years until Joe was ready, that they were ready to move on from Joe and move him to Kansas City. And then they kept the success going with Steve Young and even won a title with Young and Seifert. And they were able to get that, keep that success going for a stretch. And it's not easy. And Shula, in a way, he was able to do it because he had Greasy, he had Woodstock, and then he had Marino. So Shula was able to do it for a long period of time and a transition into 3 eras of quarterback, because you go Greasy and then Woodstock and then Marino. And so when you get to a Super Bowl with Woodstock, that's pretty amazing. So and it's almost unfair when we talk about how Shula kind of lost his fastball, because what more do you want from Shula? He made one transition to another, and was able to be successful. Now, he didn't win any titles with the 2 versions that came after Greasy, but he was able to get to Super Bowls on each of those phases. That's pretty successful in itself. You know what I'm saying? So, in order for the Patriots to make this transition, it's going to take that right move at quarterback. I don't know if it's Jarrett Stidham or anybody else that's in this upcoming draft. But now it's not that it ruins or hurts Belichick's legacy in any way, shape, or form. You can't. The amount of winning in 20 years and the 6 titles, you can't take away from that. Now, if he doesn't succeed, that's going to be part of, I guess, I won't call it a failure, but it'll be the talk of, okay, he had his run and now it's over. But it's interesting how it does have parallels right now that Belichick was trying to get rid of Brady a couple of years ago. He wanted to make the transition to Garoppolo. That's why he drafted Garoppolo. That's why he developed Garoppolo. And I think he wanted to keep on going with Garoppolo and move on from Brady. But the owner did not let him do that. So he forced him to get rid of Garoppolo. And he did. Now comes the transition, and now Belichick has to be in charge of the transition. The owner stepped away from this one this time. He was in the middle of it last time, kind of like what Robbie did to, what Wayne Huizenga did to Jimmy Johnson, that Jimmy wanted to move Marino, and Wayne said, no. You can do anything you want, but you're not trading Marino. Now he finally got rid of Brady, and he's dying to make that transition. You know, you watched last night the whole thing with Jordan, and you saw how Jerry Krause was dying to move on because his ego, back when it happened, it was weird. And even watching it now, 20 years later, 20-something years later, it's still so weird to me that you were trying to move on from that team. When you have a crazed maniac in Jordan that's helping you win and pushes everybody, all you have to do is keep revolving the pieces around him like you did from the first 3 championships to the next 3 championships. Just keep doing it, bro. Until that maniac can't play anymore, then you say, okay, it's time to move on. That I don't get. But Belichick has been trying to move on his own. So the question is he picking the right time in moving on now? I mean, that's what we're going to find out now. I say no. I say the wheels start to come off the Patriots now. Now's when I think the Patriots don't get back to being that championship team. But we'll see. We'll see. If he gets it done, then obviously what else can you say? Can't say anything except that Mudias Dental is absolutely amazing. Eric Mudias has been getting it done for a long time, the Mudias family. That's why I want you to go to MudiasDental.com. You can follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Mudias Dental. Call them 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Right now, if you've got a cavity, you're in pain, maybe you need a root canal, whatever it is, let's get you out of that pain, okay? Let's make you feel a little better. You're in quarantine right now. Do you need to have a pain while you're in quarantine? Come on, folks. Let's call them 305-821-0231. They do it all. Implants, Invisaligns. I've got my Invisaligns on right now. In fact, I will get my new set tomorrow. Call them 305-821-0231. You want to fix those teeth? You need an implant, you need Invisaligns, call them. They are experts, state-of-the-art equipment, state-of-the-art facility, 305-821-0231, and make sure you tell them that Big O sent you. It's MudiasDental.com.
Will reimburse payments up to a total of $1,800 based on purchase and MSRP on approved credit. On select models excludes tax, tag, title, and includes $8.99 dealer fee. Offer ends 5/4/20.
Toyota of Hollywood is open, and we're here to serve you. The safety of our customers and associates is our top priority. Toyota of Hollywood is following strict guidelines, including social distancing and keeping our facilities clean and sanitized. Buy with 0 down, 0% APR financing, and we'll make your payments till 2021. Pay up to 50% 30% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 2019 pre-owned Camry LE, not $27,000, $16,775. 2020 pre-owned Corolla LE, not $22,000, $13,775. Shop and save at our 400,000 square foot dealership at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2019 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
are back. We are at VSS West Pines, baby. 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on out and join us. We'll be out here for a couple of hours as always. Happy 420. No better place to celebrate. And by the way, here at 420, remember we've got the gift bags for you, right? But outside of that, if you spend $1 on a raffle ticket, correct? Right? After you spend $4.20, okay, or more, because, you know, you never know what you buy. But if you spend $4.20, then you can buy a $1 raffle ticket that gets you an option of, wait a minute, where are we here? It's a beer, a grinder, and wraps, $150 value, or 100 what? $100 value. And they're giving that away for that raffle ticket, so you can buy a $1 raffle ticket for that, and you will get the beer, the grinder, and the wraps, $100 value. So you got an opportunity out here. So when you come on out here to VSS West Pines and you make your purchases, they've got all kinds of products. You got an opportunity buying a raffle ticket after you purchase $4.20 and you get your gift bag. You can spend $1 on the raffle ticket, and you will be in on the raffle, okay? The grinder, the beer, and the wrap, and it's $100 value. So take advantage. Come on out. 12397 Pembroke Road. It is VSS West Pines, which is a beautiful thing. All right, 786-322 1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in. Let's see. Troy O, not a Tua fan, however, taking him at 18, I would be okay with that. Well, that's if he lasts 18. I doubt he lasts 18 because somebody will take a chance on him. Peter says, Chris Greer is a bigger pervert than Kellen Winslow. Okay, I don't know how you know that, but all right. Omar Kelly is just reporting that the Finns are trying to trade up. All right, Mike. Let's see. Troy says, don't take Herbert, please. All right. Some of you don't like him. Armed Ape says, no matter what happens, I'm jacked for this draft. For the first time in forever, I'm comfortable with the front office coaching staff being in sync. They know talent. I'm with you, man. I'm super happy about these guys, and I think they're going to be awesome. Myron says, did you buy that shirt at the show? Oh, Snoop. Yes, I did. Yes, this is a Snoop Dogg concert shirt. Yes. Officially at his, I had to get one at his show. I never had a Snoop concert shirt, so I figured I would get one, and I like this one. This one's cool. Mickey says, Belichick is not going to call it a career until he tries to pass the true GOAT, Don Shula, in the all-time wins column. I think Belichick's more motivated in proving that he can win without Brady than beating Shula's win total. Because he's got 6 titles. That's what counts. The win total thing, it doesn't matter, dude, because you got 6 titles. If you did it in 200 less wins than Shula, it's 6 titles. Nobody has that. So to me, that's what matters. There's no coach that has 6 titles. At least not in football. Let's see. Armed Ape says, Wirf has tremendous upside, but his footwork needs improvement. Willis, NFL ready out of the gate. There we go. They're breaking it down on the text line. Love it. We got a bunch of scouts on the text line. Major Finn says, Omar Kelly is very extra about stuff. I don't know what that means. Flipper13 says, what I like about Omar Kelly is that he's seeing things different. I don't know. Let me check Omar's Twitter. I don't know if he's really reporting that because, I can't trust all you guys out there. Some of you guys are full of crap.
You've been faked out before, bro.
Oh, God, over and over again. Let's see. What else? No. Let's see. Omar Kelly says, trying to trade up in the first round. Okay. He does have an article. Kelly does have that. Which says the Miami Dolphins first round. According to league sources, the Dolphins have had preliminary discussions about moving up from number 18 with the goal of putting the franchise in position to land one of the top 4 offensive tackles in the draft, or maybe it's a quarterback Greer is targeting if he doesn't select one with the 5th pick. In terms of moving up, trading, and all that stuff, we're in the same process that it is every year. Teams call us. Okay, he's using the soundbite from last week. Okay. All right. So we'll see if they're trying to trade up from 18. I mean, dude, at this point, there's a lot of stuff floating around. You know what I mean? Alan Poupar, who does an excellent job of fun with him. He is with Sports Illustrated covering the Dolphins on a daily basis. So good job by Alan switching gears and moving over to SI. So we'll get his thoughts. And one of the things I know about Alan, too, he's a big draft guy. So he's been following the draft for many, many years now. So that'll be cool that we'll be able to talk a little draft with Alan Poupar at 2 o'clock. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's really simple. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. And, you know, one of the things that I wanted to get into, and I thought it was really cool that, what's it called? That Chris Greer, who last week had his pre-draft press conference, and few things are ever said in those pre-draft press conferences, right? Can we get the Chris Greer cut out there a second? I believe it was Armando Salguero that asked Chris Greer this question, talking a little bit about the upcoming draft and how important the draft was. And so Chris Greer addressed the question. And what I like was he addressed it the way a fan is looking at it and how deep they're looking at it, because that's really what it's all about. It's not just about the 14 picks this year. You got 11 more next year. And you've got extra picks, early picks, and they're all like 5th and 6th and 7th rounders or something like that. It's a whole bunch of late compensatory picks and things like, no. You got plenty of early picks in this draft, which, of course, puts you in a position to be able to really set your team up. You know what I mean? So Greer addressed those that question. Do we have it there?
Yeah, I think it's very important, Armando. I think, for us in this organization, these next 2 drafts, the picks we have next year, we do the job that we expect to do, and we feel fully capable, and we're very excited to do it, that we could build a strong team here, which we've always talked about, that would win for a long time instead of, just 1 year and build it and then fall back. But we hit it right, and with the right picks, smart picks, and we do it the right way, that we have a chance to have a good team here for a long time.
Now, it sounded kind of crappy overall, but he basically was saying not just this draft, the next 2 drafts. And that's what I love about the way he addressed it, because he knows exactly what they've got to do in the next 2 years. These are the 2 most important years over the last 25 of the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, this is the most important stretch for Chris Greer, too, and his staff. They know that. These are the 2 years that can set you up for a long, long time. And if you don't handle it the right way, it can set you back for a long, long time. You know what I'm saying? And we have all waited patiently through last season, although it wasn't really as bad as people thought it would be. And you're not going to have a great season this year, but you're hoping to make some progress. But you need to get to that end game. And part of that end game is having success this year in the draft and next year. You do that, and life is going to be absolutely beautiful. And he knows that. And he knows that he and his staff end up becoming, gods in this town if they kick ass in the next two drafts. And, I mean, listen, what Dolph fan doesn't want to see that in the next two drafts? Because we haven't had that, the kind of football that we can take pride in, the kind of football that we can have confidence in, all those kind of things that we used to feel with Don Shula and the Orange Bowl back in the days. Well, now we can do it again, So hopefully everything will end up working out and they'll be able to get it done. But, man, that's the one thing. I love how he answered that question because he knows, like everybody else, that it's about the next two drafts. That's what's going to set you up in a big-time way. Remember to give us the likes while you're watching, okay? Por favor, give us the likes. Also, grab that share hook there, that arrow, and send it to a friend. Send the link to a friend on a text. Post it on Facebook, on Twitter for Dolph fans out there. Boy, we're at 186. Let's go. Let's get to 200 today. Love it. George goes, Mike has no sources. I mean, Omar has no sources. Okay, well, who knows, man? We'll see if they're really trying to trade up. That's the beauty. We got a couple of days. NorCal says, the Cowboys of the early 90s built a dynasty with multiple year drafts, with multiple picks in the first few rounds. Get ready, Finn's Law. That's exactly it, man. That's exactly it. And now's when they've got to do it. Now, there's only one difference, NorCal, for them and compared to the Dolphins now. In those days, there was no cap. So Jimmy drafted all those guys and was able to keep them, and Jerry had the money and all that stuff. So it put them at a major advantage. But when Jimmy got to Miami, the cap had kicked in. So it was a whole different NFL at that point. And even Jimmy could not duplicate what he did in Dallas. Okay? So that's where it becomes a little bit of a bigger challenge for the Dolphins because you can draft well, but you can't keep them all. Back in those days, you could actually keep them all. That's why you could keep the steel curtain around and the no-name defense and the doomsday defense and the orange crush, and you can keep around, several players and teams that were loaded back in those days. A lot easier in those days. Shamar. Oh, no, not Shamar. Shamar is not talking to me, but Douglas Anderson says, I think Greer's first meaningful input in the draft included far too many small school players. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. What time you starting draft coverage? 7 o'clock? Yeah, I probably will start right before, at least a half hour before the draft starts. Yeah. Probably.
Can I just say that last comment, small schools, like if they could play like Jerry Rice, like Walter Payton, I don't care where you came from.
No, I know that. Yeah. But again, that's people that come up with stuff and they don't even, know exactly which picks he made in the past. If you're talking about his picks in the past. Overall. Is Becton at 18 a possibility? Yes, I think it is, Eric. Or Enoch. I'm sorry, Enoch it says. Enoch Guadalupe. Yes, Becton is a possibility at 18. Slim, but a possibility. I think it could happen. RC in the 305 says, Greer is a D3 nerd. I'm not sure what a D3 nerd means. Division 3 is what you mean? Is that what you're saying? Okay. Mike Pulisic says, why would they try to trade up from 18 before the draft? My brother, unless they like some kind of a tackle or a quarterback, maybe that's the reason why. That's the only thing I can think of. Okay? I mean that's the possibility. Oh, 194. Look out. Look out. About to hit that 200. Let's go. Build it up, baby. Build it up. So, the Dolphins released 6 players over the weekend. Now, some Dolphins might be looking at that going, it's no big deal. And it actually is. It's actually pretty cool that the Dolphins made that release because, okay, first of all, so you'll know, they released Jake Carluck and Jamal Davis II, linebackers, wide receivers Andy Jones and Terry Wright, cornerback Lyndon Stevens, and defensive tackle Gerald Willis. And I'll get to Gerald Willis in a minute. Remember, you have a certain limit of players that you can have. I think it's 90, I believe, on the training camp roster. And you're going to get 14 draft picks. They know that already. You're also going to be able to target undrafted players. And because this year is the year where you didn't get to interview all the players, you didn't get to all the personal workouts, small school, mid-level schools, major schools, all that stuff. So you didn't get to see all of the players, and a guy that maybe is under the radar that you just noticed in one of those workouts, and you say, hey, let me go back and watch the film on this guy. That stuff is not going to happen this year. That means that a lot of guys may be slipping through the cracks and falling out of the draft, and small school guys that can play and maybe would be in the back end of the draft, maybe out of the draft. I think the Dolphin front office is looking at this going, we need to have as much space as possible. Let's release guys we really don't need. They're probably more training camp fodder than anything else. These are guys that are going to be available to us to bring back if we want to. Let's have the roster spots available so we can load up and maybe we find another Preston Williams. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why I feel like the Dolphins did this with an extra level of confidence about this offseason. Because you let those guys go, that's 6 spots now. And I'm thinking, okay, they must feel the guys that are going to be available right after the draft are better options than all these guys that they released. And listen, again, with the track record of Preston Williams there, now you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay? Did Preston Williams play in a small school? Just checking. Anyway, so just want to throw that out there.
Semi-small. Colorado, not Colorado. Colorado State. They're on the map, but you got to go look for them.
Okay. So there you go. And he came out, pretty good. He's all right.
You know what? I was just thinking about this, exactly what you're talking about. How about this? Because of the 3 7th-round picks we have, what we did with Preston Williams, and obviously street free agents we're expecting, that
Nick Needham.
Maybe
Nick Needham. They found him in a practice squad.
We can use, instead of having the 14 picks, move up and know that we're still going to get guys, because there's going to get guys that are going to fall through the cracks. So why wait for the 4th round? Let's move up to the 3rd and get the guy we want.
Yeah.
There's going to be, you know what I mean?
They have the ammo to do that.
We don't need to use all 14 because there's going to be 4 or 5 guys left at the end.
Right.
So let's move up and get the specific guys we want.
I can see them doing that. And when I saw them release guys, and listen, I saw Gerald Willis, and I know those of us that are fans, he's talented, man. But there's something wrong with him.
That's more of I don't understand, because the kid, God, he was such a monster.
He either has an injury that they feel he can't recover from, or he's got a lack of commitment, maturity, professionalism, something that, they've released him 3 times now. This is the 3rd time that they've released him. I believe it's 3 times. I'm sure, in fact, I'm almost 100% sure it's at least 3. And, I mean, when you release somebody that many times, then you've got all the confidence in the world that he's going to be out there. And it's a shame because, man, that Gerald Willis is one of those guys that he just looks like a beast at times. Like he can be disruptive, but something about him can't stick on a roster. And to me, that made me not the Gerald Willis thing. I'm past that already. If they're releasing him over and over again and nobody else is really claiming him anyway as it is, then everybody else is seeing the same thing. Okay? And the kid's been given several opportunities and he still can't convince you to keep him. That, that is kind of fishy as it is. But again, to me, that tells me that they have a lot of confidence about what they're doing. And when you heard him talk about those 2 drafts, that shows you also the kind of commitment that he knows how important all of this is in the big picture. But I think it's not just – I mean, after Preston Williams last year, how much more intrigued are you? It's kind of like the Heat with Summer League, right? Now every year you want to look at the Summer League team because there seems to be a guy or two that you're like, hey, let me check out the Heat Summer League. Because they seem to find a guy that, might stick on the roster and might help out. Now it's not – it's normally crazy talk. Why would you be worried about Sioux Falls? Summer League, get the hell out of here, dude. If it's not your high first-round pick playing there, nobody plays in Summer League. They're all scrubs. Well, not in the Heat Summer League anymore. In the Heat Summer League, there seems to be guys that they're finding, developing, and elevating to the pros. And so now, last year, in their first year, they find Preston Williams. And then Preston Williams becomes the darling of camp, becomes a guy that's got a talent to be a number 1 wide receiver. Hell, Xavier Howard started it in the offseason in mini camps by saying, no, that guy's got talent to be a number 1 type receiver. And we're like, oh, he's just being nice to the kid. And then we watch Preston Williams play, and we're like, whoa, who is this kid? And now we're all dying to see him come back this year because we all hope he picks up where he left off and he takes off with Devontae Parker. And you and I know that if Preston Williams is balling and Devontae Parker plays the way he plays last year, Miami's going to have one of the better tandems out there. That's going to be a lot of fun if Preston Williams is the real deal. But because Preston Williams just intrigued us and showed us a lot, this inspires us for post-draft to see what's out there after the draft is done. What did Miami sign? Because now I'm not just looking at those names. Because when you normally suck at drafting, you're going to suck at post-draft too. But now if you know how to draft and you know how to find people in post-draft and you can find people off of somebody else's practice squad, now I'm saying, well, wait a minute. The Dolphins may have eyes that others don't. The Dolphins guys may be seeing things that others don't. Right? It's the Heat taking Kendrick Nunn off of Golden State. It's the Heat developing Duncan Robinson. Right? These are the things that go on. Right? Well, maybe the Dolphins are going to start doing things like that. That you cannot. They stole this guy off the practice squad. Whatever. Now you can't do that anymore with the Dolphins. Oh, really? Who is he, bro? Because we got Nick Needham off somebody's practice squad. Oh, undrafted. They got this guy. Oh, really? Who is it? Because we got Preston Williams last year. You know what I mean? You start to feel better about the people assessing the talent. And so when I saw that, I said to myself, oh, these guys are going to go all in. These guys know that there's going to be people left over, and they're going to go after those guys heavy, and they're going to bring in some other young guys. Because, see, the beauty of having the Dolphin roster is that you have a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of roster spots open. So then there's a lot of competition. And then that competition creates a better atmosphere because guys are competitive, nothing is solved and settled, And you still got to settle it on the practice field, on the preseasons, and even in games. And people can move up and down, and they know it. And then here's the other thing, which creates a great environment for all players, that it doesn't matter where you come from, you're going to play. Oh, you're undrafted? Well, Preston Williams played undrafted. Oh, you got taken off somebody's practice squad? Well, Nick Needham played. Oh, you're a draft pick? Well, doesn't matter, then you're going to play. You're a first rounder, you're a sixth rounder. It doesn't matter, you're going to play. You show us something, Andrew Van Ginkel, we'll get you in the game. Isaiah Prince, Peter, those are your higher picks from last year. Those guys are going to play. But they will play anybody and everybody. Eric Rowe, they figured out he can't play corner. All right, but he can cover the hell out of a safety. All right, let's do that. That's when you open it up like that, you create a great environment for yourself. And you create the best environment for players, because players in locker rooms don't want to see a guy that's playing because of politics or because of his salary or anything along. No, they want the guy that's playing there because he belongs there. They don't care if he's making $10 a week or $150,000 a week. They don't care. What they do care is, can you play? And if you're putting people that aren't the best players, they will look at it and they will say, okay, these guys don't care about winning. And clearly we all know that the Dolphins are not tankers, as much as some people out there may want to make them out to be. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. At the top of the hour, Alan Poupar is going to join us from Sports Illustrated. We'll get his thoughts on what the Dolphins are going to do at 2 o'clock. We'll get into a little more Dolphins talk as we got a couple things that I definitely want to get into. We got a couple of people that are giving us some advice on some of the players that the Dolphins could select. We'll do that. Remember to give us the thumbs up while you're watching. Let's go. Let's pick it up. There's 93. We got 191 watching. Let's pick it up, baby. Let's go. Give us that thumbs up and share. Post it on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, Reddit. Share it with a friend. Send it to them on text. Tell them about the show, baby. Best place for you to listen to your sports talk. Dolphins, Heat, Marlins, Panthers, Canes, you name it, national stories. We got it for you. It's draft week. We are loaded. We are at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Alan Poupar will join us from SI at the top of the hour when we come back. Let's talk a little bit of Tua. And there's one ex-player that says you can't touch him. We'll talk about that next.
No offense to Tua.
Will reimburse payments up to a total of $1,800 based on purchase and MSRP on approved credit on select models. Excludes tax, tag, title, and includes $8.99 dealer fee. Offer ends 5/4/20.
Toyota of Hollywood is open, and we're here to serve you. The safety of our customers and associates is our top priority. Toyota of Hollywood is following strict guidelines, including social distancing and keeping our facilities clean and sanitized. Buy with zero down, 0% APR financing, and we'll make your payments till 2021. Pay up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 2019 pre-owned Camry LE, not $27,000, $16,775. 2020 pre-owned Corolla LE, not $22,000, $13,775. Shop and save at our 400,000 square foot dealership at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2019 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All right, we are back. We're out here at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Roland de la Torre says, enough with the Tua. Why waste a pick on a red shirt? Load up the team with the draft and go all in QB next year. The brainless Dolphin fans get me nauseous. And what quarterback do you get next year, Roland? I love these guys, right? I love guys like Roland. They throw stuff out, they pull it out of their ass, and it makes no sense. So, Roland, next year when they're a better team and they win more than 5 games, what quarterback are you getting? I'm just wondering. Because they won 5 games with no talent. So you figure they added free agency and the 14 draft picks now, which you hope to hit on several of them to help you out, plus maybe a street free agent or 2 undrafted. So, Roland, what quarterback are they getting next year? So why should they just give up on a quarterback? Why? Because Aaron Rodgers wasn't found at the end of the first round? Or Drew Brees in the second? Joe Montana in the third? Dak Prescott in the fourth? Tom Brady in the sixth? I mean, so you should just give up? Because if Tua, Herbert, and Burrow, you don't like Tua, you don't like Herbert, which I don't either, but you can't get Burrow, so that's it. So, Roland, you just give up on it? You don't try for anything else? I love these kind of guys.
Our best, our greatest. Marino was the 5th quarterback taken in the draft.
Yep. He goes, trade all the picks you have. For who, Roland? Who? Who's going to give you what? Oh, trade all the picks next year for the guy in Clemson, right? Because that's what you're saying? Come on, man. I love these guys. He just picked on the entire Dolphin Nation about talking about Tua, and then he comes back with a statement that makes no sense whatsoever. What you should do on 420 is smoke sense. Okay? Not lack sense. You should smoke sense. You understand that, right, Roland? And your name is Roland. Roland. Roll one, Roland. Chill out, buddy. Now he goes, I'm not obliged to taking a QB, but not at 5. Oh, okay, now. Oh, okay. Okay, so now you're realizing that you've been smoking the seeds, and so you're not making any sense. I get it, Roland. Ray says, do the old Ron Wolf old school approach. Draft a QB every year. Damn right, baby. And use them as trade bait later. By the way, I love your show, Big O. Thank you, sir. Ray makes sense. Roland on 420. Oh, there we go. By the way, Junior's Burgers is out here. Okay. Oh, look at that. There's the menu right there. You got the Big Daddy 3rd pound patty, lettuce, tomatoes, onion, pickles, pink sauce. So good. That Guy's Burger, 3rd pound patty, 2 slices of bread, cream cheese, guava, all wrapped up with bacon and ketchup. Oh, man. The barbecue bacon cheddar, 3rd pound patty, barbecue sauce, bacon cheddar cheese. Come on out here, man. Junior's Burgers, Junior's Gourmet Burgers. They've been out there since 2010. They won the Burger Brawl People's Choice Award in 2015. In 16, they won the Hamburger House Party People's Choice. In 18, they won the Hamburger House Party Judge's Choice. In 17, they won the Sobe WFF Burger Bash People's Choice. I mean, they're award winners because they kick freaking ass. Okay? Follow them on social media, by the way, at JRS Burgers, Junior's Burgers, and you can call them 786-360-5347. That's 786-360-5347. I will have a burger when this is all done here today. I am going to have myself a Junior's Burger on the way home. How about you, Bill? Are you going to have a Junior's Burger today? Huh? No?
Huh?
You're not going to have a Junior's Burger today?
What, are you crazy?
No, you're not, right? You don't
No, of course.
No, you don't want one.
He's like 3 blocks away from my house back in the day when I had the house in Springs.
You don't want one. Why would you want one?
They are phenomenal.
Why would you want one? They're delicious.
I want 2, actually. You know me.
There we go. Okay. All right. So think about that. Okay? Come on out here. You can get all your goods here at VSS West Pines. You can get yourself a delicious burger, and you're happy as hell. That's a beautiful thing. And after the burger, you know what happens then, right? It is 420.
Pay the extra couple of dollars and go bump it up to a half pound. That's what I did last time.
Exactly. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. I'm going to have a third. A third is enough for me, but I can't wait to have it. I don't want to eat it now because it's just slobbery. You know what I mean? It's all slobbery going on right now, so I can't do that. But after this, I will celebrate 420 with a Junior's Burger, which is so damn good. So damn good. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there. So, Doug Flutie. Doug Flutie was talking a little Tua, right? And one of the things that I think most of us, we believe in Tua the player, right? I think most of us like him as a passer. And I think that those of you that want to take the chance on him at 5, okay, I personally wouldn't draft him, but again, I don't mind drafting him at 5. I get it if the Dolphins do it. They've got plenty of draft after that to make up for it if he fails. So I get it. But, okay, most of us have a lot of respect for the way he can play the game, right? Kid, fantastic kid. Players gravitate to him. He's got leadership qualities, dead-ass accurate, all that stuff. It's really about his injuries. Well, Doug Flutie is a guy that you can say whatever you want about Doug Flutie, okay? You can call him short, you can call him whatever, but you can't say he's not tough. You can't call him a loser because the guy was a winner. The guy made plays. For his size, he did things that maybe to this day still guys for his size really don't do a lot of. Here's Doug Flutie talking a little bit about Tua. Can you play the Doug Flutie cut, please? Can you play the Doug Flutie cut, the first one they were talking about Tua? Go for it.
He's a difference maker. He's one of those guys that might be a question mark at the NFL level because of his pure athleticism and all, but you look at things like when he came off the bench in a national championship game, his first real playing time, where everything was on the line and he performed. He did the big stage never affected him. He went out and balled. He just flat out played, and he's got a tremendous arm. I go back to that same game, and he just flicks his wrist and that thing's spinning. It reminds me of the way the ball came off Michael Vick's hand because he's a lefty, and how hard and far he can actually throw the football. Tua would be more of a risk because it seems like a lot of his is the scrambling and making things on the fly. But with today's offenses in the NFL, they've adapted to all that, and he can do that as well. Getting the opportunity to be seen firsthand, again, it goes back to me shaking my head and saying, hey, you got film on the kid. Watch the kid play. He can play. I hate how guys go to a combine and run around in their underwear with a stopwatch, and all of a sudden they improve. Or they go up or down in the draft because of how they perform running around in their underwear on a day, or because they can bench press so many times. Can the guy play football? And Tua can.
So there's Flutie, and again, Flutie's a guy that, listen, as UM fans, we all know, obviously that's been a torturous moment for us against BC. But after everything, you had to have respect for Flutie, the way he fought back, went to the CFL, then came to the NFL and had some success. And at his size, it wasn't an easy thing for him to do. And he was a talented guy, but he could tell that Tua is a baller. Now, here's where Flutie follows up on Tua. Go ahead, the next cut for Flutie on Tua.
No offense to Tua, he's a phenomenal kid. I would be leery about, injuries that he's sustained already. They're not like a broken hand or a sprained wrist or something pretty similar. He's working with hips, and he's had some problems with his knees, I believe. So for me, I would steer away from any damaged goods. And when you look at a kid like Justin Herbert, who I got the chance to throw with down in L.A. with Taylor Kelly at their throwing facility down there, and got to chat with him a little bit. I met him in New York at the College Hall of Fame. He comes off as a very humble, very down-to-earth kid that is just good to be here and will take full advantage of it. And he's also a big lump of clay. And the right coach, the right system could mold him into what I believe could be, almost like the future of the QB position. Here you got the prototypical he's 6'6", 235 pounds, but he's got great feet. What I've seen from him being in shotgun and never even being taught how to take a proper 3 or 5 or 7-step drop, when I saw him about a month and a half ago, I was really impressed that he'd already gotten that good in that short amount of time. So me as a coach would see that and go, wow, this kid, one, works hard, and number two, is very athletic, and number three, the sky's the limit when you got a piece of clay like that and a player that you really can mold and mend into what you want him to become. So I think I would lean towards Herbert just because he's never been injured bad, and he's just really hasn't been coached a whole lot in his career yet.
All right, that wasn't Flutie. That was Jake Plummer and talking about Tua, that obviously he'd stay away from Tua because he's damaged goods, and he obviously felt that he'd take the chance on Herbert. And I think that, we talked about this in the first hour, that if you're taking the chance on Herbert, his downside, his problems. The thing is, you're willing to take that chance because Tua's too injury prone. And that's basically the message you're sending. And Jake Plummer also has that concern about him. You know what I mean? And so, like a lot of people, a lot of you out there, myself, that's the reason why I wouldn't draft Tua. If I'm in charge, I'm taking the tackle. I told you already, I'll take a quarterback later in the draft instead. But again, it reminds me so much of Hassan Whiteside. Like, I would have never given Hassan Whiteside the $100 million contract, but I understood why the Heat, did it. And listen, they deserve to get criticized for it. Right? They wanted to take the chance. They thought they had something, and 4 years of being a disaster wasn't enough proof for them, so they figured they'd take the chance anyways, and they paid the price. Okay? But I didn't kill him. It's like Chad Henne. I've never killed the Dolphins too much for it. It was a bad pick, but it was the right gamble. And I get with Whiteside. I wouldn't have taken the gamble myself, but I understood it. The Tua thing, I wouldn't take the gamble myself, but I understand it. Now, remember, I would not understand it for the Dolphins if this was their only pick in the first round. If they only had one first-round pick at number 5 and they spent it on Tua, that I would be ripping them over and over again. The fact that they have 2 more first-rounders and 2 more second-rounders, then, that to me, you got enough. Go kick ass is what you're supposed to do with the rest of the draft. You know what I mean? 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. So it's not just fans. It's not just media. It's ex-players. It's all kinds of different people. A lot of people are scared off from Tua because of the injuries. And look, none of us know what to believe. From one week to another, you have them drafting Tua to trading up for Tua to then not liking Tua to liking Herbert to now trading up for Herbert. I still think they're not trading up. I still think they're staying at 5, and I think they're going to take – I said this about a week and a half ago. I think they're taking a position player. I think this whole thing about the quarterbacks has been a smokescreen because they want to push more position players to them. And maybe they want to entice somebody else to trade up to number 3 to take that quarterback, so it pushes a position player down. I really feel that that's what's going to end up happening. Because, and again, if they take the chance on the quarterback, it's because they feel like, all right, we'll take that, we'll roll the dice, and then we'll do our business the rest of the way, and we'll get it done. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, because that is like a 24-hour talk show that we've got going on there. I saw this story that in a couple of countries, and last week I never got into it, but I did on Twitter. I was able to get into it. But apparently drive-in theaters are now thriving because of the coronavirus. It says it could be 1978 and I'm 7 waiting to see The Cat from Outer Space at the Valley Drive-In in New Brunswick. Instead, I'm in Colony, Germany. This is 2020 and my dad is in the front seat. My daughter reluctantly stopped fighting, put their smartphones away and sat back to enjoy what for them is an entirely new experience, watching a movie in a field in the car. Regular German cinemas look like those across most of the world remain closed due to the coronavirus, but drive-ins are now opening up. Yep, that's right, and they're packing them in. It says Otto Kino Essens, one of only 2 year-round drive-in theaters in Germany, has sold out every screening since the country went into lockdown in early March on April 6th. It sold 500 tickets for Manta Manta, a German comedy that was a huge hit in '91. It doesn't matter what we show. People just want to go out and watch a movie, says Frank Piak, manager of Otto Kino Essen. We're sold out weeks in advance. And you know what? You think about it, you got people coughing and wheezing and talking and all that in regular theaters, and drive-ins now are becoming more popular in other parts of the country. I don't know if it can become popular again down here because you need land in order to do that. And I know the swap shop is out there, and I've been to the swap shop drive-in, man, I don't know how many times. My wife we have been going to the swap shop for years, dude. Years. Now, we haven't been there in a couple of years, but we go a lot. Like, it's been like maybe 2 years that we haven't been to a movie lately. Things have been a little hectic, so we haven't gone to one in a while. But, man, we would go religiously. Seriously. I love drive-ins. I find it the most comfortable. You just sit back. You're in your car. You're hanging out. You want to say something to your wife or your girlfriend or your friend or whatever. You can do it. It's 420, by the way, today. 420 is a great day to be at a drive-in theater. Come on. Think about that. I remember going to a drive-in. Was it Tropicare, right? Was Tropicare the one on Bird Road and off of the Palmetto? And then the one down 27th Avenue, which was, I forgot the name of the one on 27th Avenue. And what was it, like 27th Avenue and 100, 120th, 90-something?
Down from 135th on the west side of 27th Ave.
Yes. Yes, it was on the west side.
Between 125, 121, whatever's there by Miami-Dade.
Is that where it was?
135th, which is.
That's where it was? I remember that. I remember it was on 27th and it was up there somewhere.
Do you know it's still there?
The drive-in?
Sometimes when I'm driving, the drive-in's not there, but the actual, like all the signs outside and this and everything, it's still the land. Yeah.
The hills and everything are still there?
I want to say that they've got like a bunch of junk cars and stuff like that in there.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, man.
It's on 27th Avenue and what?
Like we said, 130, 129, you know.
Oh, that is funny. That is funny, dude. Wow. There you go.
The land is still made like as if the drive-in was there.
That is cool. See, that's the only thing I don't know if it could ever make a comeback because of land. You need so much land, and land is so expensive here in South Florida. It would be hard. But I forgot, Tropicare was one, and I think that's the one on Bird Road. I don't remember what the other one was called on 27th Avenue. One of you would have to, out there that actually lived in this area back in the day, you know what the hell I'm talking about, and you can tell me. But let me tell you, I would love drive-ins. I think drive-ins are the coolest thing out there, man. OZ863 says, got one here in Central Florida. Nice. Where in Central Florida? What's the name of it, man? T-Bone says drive-ins are cool. Werfs might be the pick, Big O. Your wish might come true, brother. Man, if I get Werfs at 5, I would be really, really happy. Really happy. Radically centrist says, I think Detroit trades down with Miami because teams will still get Okuda. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. But I hope the Dolphins don't trade up. I don't want them to give away a pick for those guys. I really don't. I mean, I don't even want to draft them at 5. I'll get it. I understand it. But I don't even want to draft them at 5, much less trade up for him. If Chargers want Tua, they will most likely trade up to 3 to get him. Lions will then get their CB Okuda at a lower slot, but with the extra picks. Exactly. But the Chargers don't have as many picks. All right, let's take a quick break. Top of the hour, Alan Poupar. Let's switch gears. We're going to talk a little Dolphins draft with Alan Poupar. We're going to do that from Sports Illustrated. That is next.
No offense to...
Will reimburse payments up to a total of $1,800 based on purchase and MSRP on approved credit on select models. Excludes tax, tag, title, and includes $8.99 dealer fee. Offer ends 5/4/20.
Toyota of Hollywood is open, and we're here to serve you. The safety of our customers and associates is our top priority. Toyota of Hollywood is following strict guidelines, including social distancing and keeping our facilities clean and sanitized. Buy with 0 down, 0% APR financing, and we'll make your payments till 2021. Pay up to 50% 30% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 2019 pre-owned Camry LE, not $27,000, $16,775. 2020 pre-owned Corolla LE, not $22,000, $13,775. Shop and save at our 400,000 square foot dealership at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2019 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com. No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We are back. We're ready to rock and roll. We promised you we're going to talk a little Dolphins with Sports Illustrated writer Alan Poupar. Of course, you can follow him on Twitter at @PouparFins. And follow him there on Twitter because he's dropping knowledge all the time. Alan, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing fine. How are you? By a cool jingle, by the way, but then again, I wouldn't expect anything else from you.
No, thank you, sir. Appreciate you as always. And I did take on your challenge, by the way, on the 4 albums from beginning to end. So I did post it. I don't know if you saw it on your challenge. Did you see it?
I actually missed it. I'm gonna have to make sure I look for it.
Okay, I did a little Screaming for Vengeance. I went with U2 War. I went with Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast. And what was the 4th one now? I'm forgetting the 4th one. I think I went with Van Halen 1. I think that's what it was.
There you go. tough to narrow it down to just 4, though.
Oh yes, it's really I feel like I'm insulting some of my other favorites. You know what I mean when I'm doing that, like I'm cheating on them by picking 4 babes and leaving 4 other babes out. Wouldn't that be a really nice problem to have, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, as we digress here, let's not get divorced also at the same time in this segment. All right, Alan, as always, my brother, one of the things I love about you that I've known for so many years is that you are a draft nut and you follow the draft as good as anybody out there. You are intense when it comes to it. So I would imagine that you have all the answers for us. So what are the Dolphins doing at number 5? What does Alan Poupar's gut tell him about the Dolphins pick at number 5?
Appreciate the plug, by the way, but I know I don't have all the answers right now, especially since with this new Dolphin regime, in place since last year, information doesn't leak out the way it used to. I mean, it's tight quarters over there, so they've been hiding their intentions very, very well. You know what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to tell you that I get the sneaky suspicion that they're not going quarterback with their first pick at 5. That's what my gut tells me. And I will tell you that what I would suspect is it's going to be a tackle. And then depending on what the Giants do at 4, assuming it's Burrow, Young, and Okudah of 1, 2, 3, depending on what the Giants do at 4, and the Giants are said to be going for a tackle as well. If they go in Tristan Wirfs from Iowa, for example, or if they go, let's say, Jedrick Wills from Alabama, then I could easily see the Dolphins taking whoever was not picked at 4. And I'll throw out another name because the Dolphins have built themselves a nice little foundation for their defense, especially after free agency with the additions of Byron Jones and Kyle Van Noy. I'm going to throw out Isaiah Simmons from Clemson as a possibility, who I would add as my favorite player in this entire draft. I absolutely love the kid.
Wild card. That guy can do it all, bro. That guy is a defensive coordinator's dream. That you can play him in so many spots. For me, I want a lineman at 5. So let me ask you, what is it about Miami? Because I feel the same way. I feel they're going to take a position player, not a quarterback, at 5. But what is it about the quarterbacks, either guy, that you like or don't like at 5? Because for me, I don't like either guy, one for the injury history, and the other guy just doesn't convince me. So I'm wondering, how do you feel about those two guys?
Correct. And obviously, with Tua, the injury thing is the number one thing that jumps out. I'll tell you something else about him that doesn't thrill me is, I mean, the dude played on an all-star offense over there. And yes, he's very accurate. Yes, he's got moxie. He's got the X factor and all of that. But, I mean, you see it. First, go check out like a 13-minute highlight reel. It's like, I don't know, 27 passes that he throws. They're all bombs on the money, except that he's got a completely clean pocket with no defender 3 yards within range, and his receivers are open by 5 yards. Well, you're not going to make a whole lot of throws like that in the NFL. I don't see a whole lot of throws, and I watch a lot of Alabama games. I'm obviously just not going by this highlight reel. You never saw him throw like an out pattern where he had to zip it in a tight window down the sideline. You don't see those throws. What you saw was screen passes, a lot of quick slants, where his receivers were all getting the inside position, and then you saw the bombs where his receivers were 5 yards behind the defense. So he's good at that. I'm just not convinced that he's a slam dunk star in the NFL, minus the injury issue. So you throw in the injury issue, well, guess what? I don't want him at 5. If he's available at 18 and the Dolphins are picking there and they've gone in a direction at 5, then by all means, go ahead. I don't like him at 5, and I certainly don't like him having to trade up. As far as Herbert, he's got a lot of the Ryan Tannehill traits, and we went through that for 7 years down here, and no more. Please, no more.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. All right, so who outside of Simmons? Who's the other player that is realistic at 5 and excites you for the Dolphins that you'd say, okay, this would be a perfect pick for them?
If that's 5, it's got to be Simmons or one of the tackles. I don't think there's any other way to go.
All right, so which is the tackle you like? Because I know you love Simmons, so which is the tackle you like?
well, Beckman's got the highest upside, but he may not be totally there yet. Wirfs is an athletic freak. He may be the safest in terms of what he is and what he's going to be. Wills is really good. I don't think those three. I've heard that Andrew Thomas's name also mentioned as among the top four, and everybody in the scouting world has maybe a different pecking order, but those four are pretty tightly grouped. I like the combination of what is right now and what's the potential, so I'm going to say Wirfs if he's there. Would be my guy.
Okay. Is there a quarterback on the second or third tiers that you like as a project guy? We know most of these guys will end up failing, but still there are guys that have NFL skill sets, and you say, hey, why not take a chance on him? Miami does have 14 picks, so it behooves you to maybe take a chance on a young guy. Which guy out there do you like?
Oh, I'd go Jordan Love. I'm not sure if I go with Jordan Love at 18, but if Jordan Love's sitting there at 26 and the Dolphins are taking a tackle and let's say an edge rusher or a safety at 18 and they're sitting at 26 and Jordan Love is available, I'd seriously consider him. The guy's got, again, you talk about what he is now compared to what he could be. Major upside, big arm, great athlete, a lot to work with there. And then the guy maybe second or third round who is a gamble because he's got a lot of things to work on in his game, but he's just got like just an insane arm that's really, really difficult to overlook. And that's Jacob Eason from Washington. I mean, the ball just jumps out of his arm. It's crazy.
Anthony Gordon, you mean?
No, Jacob Eason.
Oh, East. Oh, yes.
From Washington.
Washington. Oh, yes. I like him, man. I like him. He can't move for crap. He's a statue, but that dude has got a gun, and if he figures it out, that might be an interesting pick. I agree with you in the second round. He's one of those guys that I'm kind of intrigued with as a gamble in that second tier. Alan Poupar, of course.
With the number of picks that they have, it's like they can afford to take a shot on one of those guys. You know, it's not a normal year where they have one pick per round.
Why not? Okay, let me ask you this: why not scrap the quarterback and go after Jameis Winston? What's your thoughts on that?
Man, it's got some validity to it.
Have you given up on him? Like you're done with him because of the 30 interceptions, or would you? Because dude, it's really hard to find 7 guys more talented than him in the NFL at that position. But obviously, the knucklehead thing, the turnovers, burns the hell out of you. But man, he's so gifted. And at this point, you don't have to spend any money really on him, not big money, and you're not going to have to give up any picks. What would stop you from taking a chance on him, Alan?
Well, because you mentioned not too many quarterbacks are more gifted, and not too many quarterbacks are going to throw more than 30 picks either.
Yeah.
So,
no, you're right.
he's scary because of that, and the decision making is really poor. And here's the thing: is you go get him. I mean, you get Ryan Fitzpatrick as your bridge quarterback that played really well last year. That's a tough one. I mean, that's a tough one. I think you see what's going out there in the draft. I'll throw another one out for you, and that's and this is a question I actually just put up a story on this. Is should we automatically assume that Josh Rosen is no longer a factor, will never be a factor for the Dolphins, or maybe just maybe that they saw something in practice at the end of last year, which they obviously will not know other beyond what they're going to say publicly, which is he's making progress and he's going to continue to work and all that.
I'm not ready to give up on him personally. I'd like to give him one more year here to see what happens, because 2 years of at least stability around the same coaches and things. I know the scheme is going to change, but still he's got a little bit more stability here. I'd like to see one more year and see what he does with the adversity and how he handles it before I'd give up on him. That's the intriguing part, because none of us really know if they've given up on him or not. But the one thing that we can say, it doesn't look like he's in the mix right now. I mean, they haven't given us the impression that he's in the middle of this whole thing. It's almost like he's a fringe competitor almost.
Correct. So you ask about Jameis Winston. I'm almost thinking that the better idea would be, if you don't get a quarterback in the draft that you like enough to go out and get, you just roll with those two, with Fitzpatrick and Rosen, and then take it up again next year. I mean, whoever they draft in the first round, unless they go up and get Joe Burrow, it's probably not going to start anyway. It's probably going to be Fitzpatrick. I think, this notion of it's a failure if the Dolphins don't pick a quarterback in this draft, I'm not sure I totally buy into that.
No, I'm with you there. Alan Poupar, of course, from SI joining us, covering the Miami Dolphins draft. All right, so Alan, we move out of that fifth pick overall, and we move down to 18 and 26, or maybe even 39, 30, what is it, 39 or 36? 39, right? It is, right? I think it is.
37 pick, 39, yeah.
39. Where do they get that running back, and who do you like?
They're going to get that running back at 26 or 39, and the guy that I want them to get is DeAndre Swift, because he's got some Alvin Kamara to him, and we see what Alvin Kamara does in that New Orleans offense. Where they'd have to get him, it's interesting. I just saw something today. Sports betting online with over-unders on every major prospect in the draft, and there's not one running back whose over-under was higher than, I believe, it's 37. But the idea that the Dolphins would be able to wait until 39 to get Swift, that's a tough one. I'm thinking they may have to go ahead and make that pick at 26. But if they hold off and somebody gets Swift at 26, they can certainly do okay with either Jonathan Taylor or Dobbins at 39.
If they get your boy Simmons, which would get you excited, would get my producer Bill excited in a big-time way. Some of the listeners right now are texting in that they love Simmons. If they do at 5, what's the lineman at 18 that's realistic and you like for the Dolphins at 18?
Oh, correct. Then if you do that, then chances are you're forgetting about any of the top 4. Then you go at 18, and you're looking at Josh Jones from Houston. Ezra Cleveland at Boise State, even though that's too rich for his blood at this particular time. And then there was a fifth one, Austin Jackson from USC. I think of those guys. I like Josh Jones. He's got a nice athletic upside to his game.
Okay. Now, and let me ask you, I think they're going to still get a wide receiver in this draft, a guy that's kind of a / wide receiver returner. Is there a guy you like in that second, third rounds that they may end up going in that direction? Because I don't think that they'll keep Wilson when it's all said and done. I think they need another two-way player at the back end of that group of wide receivers. I don't know if you agree or disagree with me on there, and if you do, who's that guy that you would be targeting in that second, third rounds?
I think it's a low priority because in addition to Wilson, who I have a hard time seeing staying on the roster with a $9 million price tag, but they also have Jakeem Grant, who can get the job done. So I think, to me, wide receiver / returner is really, really low on the list of priorities. I don't think it's something I would attack in either of the first 2 rounds. But going back to the tackle, here's another scenario that I could easily see happening.
Okay.
Is let's say they get Simmons at 5. I could easily see the Dolphins moving up from 18 back into the first round using some of their insane draft capital to move up a few spots to get one of those 4 guys that I previously mentioned.
Okay, yeah.
Because they have to come out of this draft with an offensive tackle. That's first and foremost.
Do they go linebacker at any time in this draft early on?
Assuming Simmons is not the pick at 5, you mean?
Yes.
I don't know that it's a major need. That the reason I would go Simmons is because, again, if you remember, Flores was trying to use Minkah Fitzpatrick in that kind of role until Fitzpatrick balked at the idea. Well, Simmons embraces the idea. I mean, you ask him, what would you like people to call you in terms of your position? He said defensive player. That tells you right there, this is a guy, he loves that.
Right.
But I don't know that there's a screaming need for an off-the-ball linebacker. That's a new term, but that I've seen pop up, the off-the-ball linebacker as opposed to the edge player. They have Jerome Baker as a quote-unquote off-the-ball linebacker as the main guy there. I don't know if it's a screaming need. Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma is a nice player, and he's intangibles off the charts. I mean, his personal background story is amazing. Like, saved a life, family adopted kids. I mean, intense, high character guy who could be a defensive captain from day one. And he's got some athletic upside as well. He could be there. Let's say at 26 maybe, but I don't think it's a screaming need.
Are you a Zach Bond guy? Because I love him. I think he's going to be a star.
Yeah, the only thing is, I mean, how many of those types of guys, how different is he than Vince Peeble, for example? How different is he than Ginkel? Were you're two, like, similar type of players. They picked up edge rushers in free agency with Agba and Shaq Lawson. So I just don't know that it's a screaming need right now, to be honest. That's just me.
I am excited about Van Ginkel. I like that kid, man. After the injuries and all that, and he came back towards the end, I kind of saw what, I understood what they saw in him. And I would imagine that Van Ginkel's that guy that's going to be, like, glued to Van Noy and going to want to learn everything from that dude, right? That's kind of, at least that's the impression I get.
Well, I agree, and on both ends, when he came back, it was like, at first it was like he was feeling his way back, and then he had this one game, I don't remember who it was, against maybe Cincinnati. It was like, whoa,
yeah,
there's something there.
Yeah,
and mentioning Van Noy, that was part of the beauty of that signing. That to me might have been an even better signing than Byron Jones, even though Jones was a better player, because Van Noy not only is going to do a lot for the defense on the field, but he's going to be a great mentor for all those young linebackers on the roster.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. There's no doubt that Van Noy becomes, the captain of the defense and the guy that is going to teach everybody else what Flores wants and what he's trying to accomplish. There's no doubt that guy takes over that locker room and that defensive side of the ball. He's going to be the guy. There's no doubt in my mind on that defense that everybody's going to gravitate to that guy as the leader, right? I mean, that would be the plan.
No, I'm totally with you on that. He's got a great personality too. So I mean, he's perfect for that role.
All right. So how are you covering the draft, bro? You're going to be home? What are you doing? You're going to be at some bar having some all by yourself, having a private cook? Well, how are you doing it?
I am going to be at my house with my two preteens while my wife is at her job as an ER nurse, taking care of patients. So I will maneuver through that and cover the draft that way. We're not going anywhere. Respecting these stay-at-home orders like a good citizen should.
It's got to feel pretty crappy, right? Your wife's a hero, saving lives. You're just covering a football team. I mean, it's just got to be terrible, right? I go home. My wife teaches kids. She's molding people for the future. Here I am just talking about a bunch of jocks. I mean, what happened to our lives, bro? I mean, come on. The women are doing much more important things than we are, bro. What's going on?
Trust me, and don't think I have not pounded that message into my two kids to really appreciate and respect what mom's doing.
Yeah. Kids, don't be like us. Be like mom.
Exactly.
Alan, you're the best, my brother. Thanks for taking some time. Congratulations on the new gig. I know you're going to have a lot of fun with it, man. Thank you.
You got it, but anytime.
You got it. There you go. Alan Poupar, man. Good stuff. He's been covering the Dolphins for a long, long time. I'm really happy for him that he got this gig with Sports Illustrated. We're going to have him on more often, too, which is a beautiful thing. I love that. Because when he was with the team, you can't
be objective.
No, and no, but
he can lose his job for
exactly. I can't put him in a, you know what I mean? It's like that's why you never see on this show that I'm going to bring somebody on from the team.
When you're part of the team, you're the candy coater.
Yeah, you just can't do anything. It's not your fault. It's just the way it is. If hey, I work with Inter Miami. What do you think's going to happen now?
You're going to become a candy coater?
Pom-poms.
Serious?
All the way. Yeah. Well, I have no choice.
All right. You heard it from the Big O right out of his mouth.
I am not, dude, I am far from a phony. I've always said that. If I work for the team, I have no choice. Anybody that works for the team, you have no choice. So Alan worked for the team for years, and that's why I never really had him on. I had him on to talk draft like once, like 10 years ago, and it was just he and I even had the conversation. It was like, no, man, it's just too uncomfortable to do it working for the team because he himself can't be honest. Because nobody that works for a team can be honest. You can't, because when things are going awry, what are you going to do? Slam your boss? It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? So
it's a real fast way to get a pink slip with quickness.
Of course. And I'm certainly, and as a friend, I'm not going to put him in that position. You know what I mean? So that would be, ridiculous. So I'm so glad that he is no longer with the team and now working for Sports Illustrated. So now we can actually talk about, controversial things. Hopefully they don't happen now. Hopefully we're on our way where, the team doesn't suck anymore and the team is not full of dysfunction and making stupid decisions and crapping out all it. Hopefully those days are gone with the Dolphins. So hopefully Allen is actually covering just a great era of football now for the Dolphins. We kind of need that anyways, right? Don't we deserve that already at this point? We have suffered enough already, okay? I think we repaid the football gods already. I get it. The football gods said, hey, in 1970, we gave you Shula, and you ran with Shula, okay, and you got Greasy, the no-name defense, you got Woodstock, and you got the Marino run, okay? Now, that was over in the 90s, and now you went on a run without him for 20 years, and you've sucked. Okay, we've paid our dues. Okay, it is time for us to be blessed now again. I get it. The football gods looked at us and said, hey, you got Greasy and Marino back-to-back with the little Woodstock in the middle. We gave you Hall of Fame quarterbacking for 35 years. It is now time for you to suck. And boy, have we sucked for 20 years. Now, we paid our dues. Okay? We paid our dues. It's time now to turn the page, as Bob Seger would say, and let's have a great football team and great football being played from here on out. Is that too much to ask? I don't think I'm asking for too much. I think I'm asking for just enough. Just a little happiness, man. I mean, I'm 53, dude. Before I check out of this earth, I need to have a championship, man. I got not just a Super Bowl trip. No. I had a couple of those in the 80s. No. I need a Super Bowl win. Okay? I need to have my aqua and orange winning the Super Bowl. Okay? I need to be hanging out with Dolphins celebrating a Super Bowl win. You got that? That's what I need. It better happen. DM Fins Up says, could we get Derek Brown at 5? You could. I think he'll be there. Good player. Mauricio Sena Murias says, Simmons trading for Love plus OT plus running back plus safety. All right. Robert Gonzalez says, can you please ask any of your draft guys what is the opinion on the quarterback from Utah, Tyler Huntley? We'll ask tomorrow. Tomorrow, by the way, we got a loaded show for you, dude. I mean, tomorrow we have, listen to this show tomorrow, okay? This is crazy tomorrow. Max Starks, former offensive tackle for the Steelers and the Gators, all right? Sean Salisbury, former NFL quarterback, radio host in Houston, friend of mine for a long time. You know, he's great insight. The marvelous one, Alex Marvez from Sirius XM NFL Radio, talk about the latest. And then Greg Gabriel is going to join us, former NFL scout. He was 9 years as a player personnel director with the Bears, and he was the director of player personnel for the XFL DC Defenders, which I believe they had the best defense in the XFL overall. So there you go. So we've got a former offensive tackle, a former NFL quarterback, a pro scout, and an NFL insider for tomorrow. How about that?
Got all the bases covered, bro.
Damn right. Wednesday, Tony Pauline's going to stop in from the Pro Football Network. Chris Perkins is going to stop in from The Athletic. Bo Marchionte, pro scout, is going to stop in. And Brady Papinga, former NFL linebacker, friend of mine too. Thursday, former NFL linebacker, agent, scout, coach, contract negotiator, Mark Lillibridge is going to join us at noon. At 1 o'clock, we'll talk with Rick Neuheisel, college football coach and analyst for SiriusXM ESPNU. And with Rick, he'll break down all the quarterbacks. He's seen all of the young quarterbacks that are coming in. Doug Farrar is going to join us, NFL insider draft expert from from USA Today, and John Murphy. Those of you that have followed my show for years, Murphy, I've had him on forever. Murphy is now the director of player personnel for the Toronto Argonauts of the CFL. Okay? So there you go. It's hard to get. You're not going to get an NFL scout that's currently on a team to talk right now this week, or a general manager. They're not going to come on because they're not going to do anything. They can't say anything. They can't give you anything. You know what I mean? So I've got to get other pro scouts, guys that have been in the pros, guys that might be in the CFL, guys that have bounced around a little bit, and they can give us objective opinions because they've watched some of these guys. So looking forward to, we got just an ass-kicking week this week on the show. You're going to get a lot of great draft insight from a whole bunch of people, man. It's a beautiful thing. All right, it is time to wrap it up here on the show. Yes, it is, sir.
Seriously, like that?
Just like that. Just like that. We started at 11:20.
Let's cue the music in the background.
We're a little over 3 hours, man. We did pretty good today. Just like that. Did pretty good. Hey, and remember, we're out here at VSS West Pines. Come on out. It's 420. You spend over 420, they've got a gift bag for you. And if you spend over 420, they've got a raffle going on for $1. And you can win a grinder, beer, and papers worth $100 for that $1. You got a chance. So you can buy as many raffle tickets as you want. So come on out here to VSS West Pines. Remember, you can also call them 954, okay? And I want to make sure I get it right. 613-3367. It's right here. 954-613-3367. Junior's Hamburgers is out here. You're going to have some of their delicious burgers. I'm going to have one now myself. Can't wait for it. They have a lechon egg roll that I'm going to try also here. Oh, so good, man. Lechon egg roll. Oh, are you hearing that? Lechon egg roll. Did you see it? That thing looked delicious, bro.
That sounds awesome.
I was going to try it. He just brought it for these guys. They were eating it right now. I go, I'm ordering that, dude. I'm getting a burger and I'm getting a lechon egg roll. Got to do that. I got to treat myself today. Anyway, you all out there, thank you so much. Be safe. As always, thank you for keeping it locked here on the program. We'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m., fresh from the studio. We are loaded with all kinds of guests, all kinds of draft.
Have a good one. Be safe.
You got it. Great job by Bill and Philippe. You guys be good.
Great job by you, man. We've been waiting for this, man.
We are surviving.
Oh.
Be good out there. Thanks to everybody out here at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on out. It's 420. May the good roll be yours.
Happy 420. See you.